Footprints through the highs and through the lows. Zach Zeppelin on the track, yeah, I'm speaking from the soul. Recording every memory just to keep my spirit whole. From the concrete of the film where the stories all began, to the Queen City skyline where I'm standing as a man. Every upload is a piece of what I've seen and what I've known. Building up a digital kingdom on a foundation of my own. I've been traveling through time every time I hit the record. Documenting life because I know I can't afford to let the moment slip away like shadows in the night. So I'm shining on the screen, keeping legacy in sight. Surviving film on Africa, the channel is the truth. Preserving every chapter from my wisdom to my youth. Since he is the backdrop where the memories reside. As Zeppelin the pilot, come and take a rhythm ride. On all platforms, you can hear the heartbeat in the sound. From the earth to the ether, see how I'm finally bound. I remember cold winters on the streets of the 513, thinking about the journey and what life was meant to be. It's more than just a vlog, it's a living, breathing map, bridging gaps between the past, falling right into my lap. I talk about the struggles and I talk about the grace, putting film on the burner, putting light upon my face. My music is the heartbeat and the videos are eyes, watching seasons changing under Cincinnati skies. If you're looking for the real, then you know just where to go. Subscribe to the vibration, watch the inner garden grow. I'm a son of the soil and a student of the game. Zach Zeppelin's the brand, but the heart remains the same. Surviving film on Africa, the channel is the truth. Preserving every chapter from my wisdom to my youth. Since he is the backdrop where the memories reside. Zach Zeppelin the pilot, come and take a ribbon ride. On all platforms, you can hear the heartbeat in the sound. From the earth to the ether, see how I'm finally bound. Earthbound for a moment, but I'm reaching for the stars. Healing up the trauma and I'm wearing all my scars. From Cincinnati corners to the global wide view. This is for the people who are pushing through it too. Keep the camera rolling and the microphone on loud. Making my ancestors and my city feeling proud. Surviving film of Africa. Yeah, we still alive. Zach Zeppelin 513. Watch your dream thrive. Keep it alive, keep it real. Until the end of time. This is my life, this is my story, this is my rhyme.
Yo, yo, yo. Zach Talks TV, Surviving Film on Africa, checking in with the gang. We're about to get into some war politics right now, if I can get this thing to load up. Let's see.
Tonight, Iran's regime maintains its grip on power despite devastating losses. The attacks by U.S. and Israeli forces relentless and intensifying. This is Tehran. These huge flames over the city from an oil depot that took a hit. The war now entering its second week. Today, President Trump joined grieving families in Delaware as the remains of the first 6 service members killed in the conflict returned to the United States.
The 6 service members already passed away in the World War III. Today, they announced the 7th service member that passed away. So, total casualties for the U.S. Army so far is 7 service members.
Operation Epic Fury, as it's known, now involves some 50,000 U.S. military personnel. In Iran, more than 6,000 sites have been hit. The Islamic Republic has targeted at least 12 countries. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is in Tel Aviv tonight and leads us off. Charlie.
Good evening, Jerika. We're learning tonight that the U.S. military is preparing for a longer fight. More B-1 bombers to the region, as sources we spoke to say a 3rd aircraft carrier strike group is primed to deploy from the U.S., adding to the 2 that are already in this region. fresh airstrikes on Iran hitting the capital and an airfield in the central city of Isfahan. American missiles striking 3,000.
23 people in here, man. Hit that like button for me. I need you guys to put what you think about this war in the comment section. I definitely need to hear you guys' opinions.
Targets in the past week, according to sources we spoke to at U.S. Central Command. President Trump has vowed to intensify and widen attacks and called for...
Now, keep in mind, they're telling the U.S. troops that this is Armageddon. They're telling the U.S. troops that this is about the second coming of Jesus or some shit that's going on in the Middle East. You got to remember, Israel is a very biblical place, and it plays a very powerful position in the Bible and everything. So they're connecting this with the second coming of Jesus and Armageddon, and they're actually telling this to the troops in the U.S. Army.
Unconditional surrender. In a post on his Truth Social site today, Trump called Iran the loser of the Middle East and said it will be hit very hard. He warned that areas and groups not targeted yet are under serious consideration for complete destruction and certain death because of Iran's bad behavior. Despite the relentless U.S. and Israeli air raid campaign.
Also, they've named their new leader, guys. Guess who their new leader is? The son of the person that Donald Trump just killed. So they're uprising. They're creating an uprising over there. It's actually already backfiring on us. The leader that we just killed, now his son is in power. Make that make sense. But Trump also said that if his son do becomes power, then he's the new target. So now we got to see over the next couple of days, are they going to get this guy too? I mean, what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying?
Releasing this video said to show direct strikes on Iranian targets. There's little sign of the regime losing any of its grip on power. The Iranian president said surrender was, quote, a dream America should take to its grave, while apologizing to Gulf states, saying Iran would cease strikes on those countries unless attacked by them. And yet another explosion near the main airport in Dubai, with attacks also reported in nearby Bahrain, home to a major U.S. naval headquarters. The USS George H.W. Bush carrier will be steaming toward the region soon from the U.S., joining the Ford and the Lincoln that have already been at the forefront of the airstrikes. As for the Americans trapped in the fighting across the region,
now this war is it's about Iran developing nuclear weapons, but it's actually way deeper than that. It's actually a lot deeper than that.
the U.S. State Department says more than 28,000 Americans have returned home from the Middle East since the start of the war. Eureka officials here in Israel say they hope to reopen the airport for limited commercial flights tomorrow.
Tonight, Iran's regime.
Iranian officials say a U.S. military operation inside Tehran has failed and that 173 American soldiers from the elite Delta Force were captured. According to Iranian sources, the operation was part of a covert mission targeting key sites in the capital, but Iranian security forces reportedly intercepted the unit and detained the soldiers. Moreover, Iranian officials say the soldiers are now in Iranian custody, calling the incident a major intelligence and military victory for Iran. However, the United States has strongly denied these reports. Officials from United States Central Command say the claim is false. But from Iran's side, this event is confirmed. If the claim were ever proven true, it would represent one of the most significant intelligence and military incidents of the entire conflict.
They're trying to say they done took some of our soldiers hostage. Now that'll be fucked up. But of course, America will hide that. Donald Trump is trying to put on a front that we're winning this war when really the war has just begun. You know what I'm saying? We're just now getting our feet wet. Taking out Khamenei or whatever, that was only one step. Right now with his son in power, you know what that means? They're more cohesive now. They know what to do. We just had the 12-day war. They were able to gauge our weaponry, gauge our munitions and shit like that. Now they know how to fight us in this type of war. And now they're toying with the fact of sending ground troops over there. That might be a bad idea. Now, if you guys look up, Iran is full of mountains and shit like that. Basically, their terrain is basically uninvadable. You know what I'm saying? It'll be very hard for America to fight a ground troop war in Iran. That's why we're trying to gain aerial superiority, because that's the only way we can win this war, y'all. Pay attention.
Iranian officials say
Okay.
the message is clear. The country will defend its territory at all costs and will not allow any enemy force to operate inside Iran without facing serious consequences. Iranian officials say a U.S. military operation inside Tehran has failed and that 173 American soldiers from the elite Delta Force were captured. According to Iranian sources, the operation was part of a covert mission targeting key sites.
The President said recently the understanding of a surrender is person to person.
They
Is that
don't
what
want me
would
to
be
be doing
required?
this.
The understanding of a surrender is person to person.
They
Is
don't
that what
want me
would
to
be
be doing
required
this
in a
stuff.
matter like this? Well, there's
As y'all can see, they already trying to knock me off. They don't want me to be doing this stuff. But like I was saying before, y'all pay attention to this guy right here. I don't know if he's for the country or if he's against us. You know what I'm saying? But all I do know is he's one of the people that's egging us on to this war. And he's one of Trump's right-hand man right now. So pay attention to him.
A lot of different ways, whether they want to admit it or not, whether their pride lets them say it out loud or not. It's President Trump who will set the terms of that.
The president of Iran said yesterday that the U.S. demand for unconditional surrender is, quote, a dream that they should take to their grave. There was a very long war between Iran and Iraq, almost 8 years, and they never surrendered in that war. And I'm just wondering if that factors into your calculus of the president's calculus.
I mean, there was a really long fight that I was a part of and my generation was
Yes,
a part of.
I know that.
In Iraq and Afghanistan, where a lot of foolish approaches were used. This is war. This is conflict. This is bringing your enemy to their knees. Now, whether they will have a ceremony in Tehran Square and surrender, that's up to them.
The president said recently there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. What does that look like?
Trump just said there's only one way this war ends. Unconditional surrender. Not a deal. Not negotiations. Iran waves the white flag or it doesn't stop.
Yep. So basically, what you guys thought was a few weeks war, I don't know what he thought. Trump was pushing this as it's going to be a quick war, a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to go over there, kill the leader. They're going to have a new leadership and it's going to be all peachy cream. But come to find out, that's definitely not the goddamn case. They killed the leader and now the new leader is his son, which has the same core values as his dad. And now he's going to avenge the death of his father. So not only did we create an even more dangerous and more hostile situation for America, but now we have to worry about our future and the kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because these people are going to be avenging this for you know what I'm saying? For the rest of their life. This isn't like a small little thing. They view their supreme leader is like shit. Think of Jesus. Think of how Jesus is to the Christian community. Shit, that's how they view their supreme leader. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't like how we viewing it over here. We're watching the news and shit, and we're not really getting the full picture. We can't really grasp the full the full seriousness of this situation. And that's why I'm here to tell you guys. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's get it.
And Iran just fired its 23rd wave of missiles at Israel. 23rd. Here's what's actually happening right now.
For 7 days, the U.S. and Israel targeted regime leadership and military installations, but overnight, towering flames cast an eerie orange glow over Tehran after Israel struck what it said was an Iranian military fuel depot. Drivers on this highway detouring around the flames. Videos circulating seems to show sewers and streets on fire as well. This morning, those fires still burning under blackened skies.
And check this out. Our Department of Defense is closed right now. You know why? Because Congress is against this war. 70% of the American people are against this war, bro. Donald Trump pretty much took it upon himself to go to war. You know what I'm saying? And now they're toying around with ground troop invasions. They're talking about a draft. You know what I'm saying? We're running into all type of shit. And guess what? It's affecting our everyday life already. Rather you guys want to say you not political or whatever the fuck, it's already affecting your daily life already. Look at them goddamn gas prices. In just 2 days, the shit done raised up like $1. You feel me? 2 days, the shit done jumped up $1. Stock market's plummeting. It's a lot of things riding on this war. And those Gulf states, they play a big role in the American dollar. Now, you got to remember, the American dollar is very fragile. It's held up by oil money. The petrodollar is what's backing the American dollar. And the petrodollar is involving oil. Most of that oil bartering is done by the GCC states, which is Dubai, Abu Dhabi, all of those Middle Eastern countries. Now, once they shut down that Strait of Hormuz, which is where a lot of that oil is being shipped through, that's what caused the spike in our gas prices here in America so quickly. Right now, gas prices done rose to about $80 a barrel. So if it gets any higher than this, you guys can basically expect gas prices to go up to $4 and $5. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump's whole plan is to get over there and fight this war quick. He wants it to be a quick, you know what I'm saying? Everything is instantaneous these days, but that's not how they work. That's not what this is. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think. Like, do you think it was a good idea for us to do this? What do you think the future holds? Do you think we should continue to do this? 101 a barrel. Look at that. You see, it's going up. It's just gonna keep going up. Keep going up. And then check this out. The way that Iran is positioned to Israel, they got the advantage. Iran is a bunch of mountains and shit. Israel is flat land. You know what I'm saying? They can basically just bomb Israel hella times. That's why Israel needs the help of the United States. Basically, Netanyahu is fucking egging Trump on, really, to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? We really don't even have to be involved with this shit, really. But Netanyahu is egging him on. He's been egging him on for years, talking about these damn nuclear weapons and shit. And now here we are. And keep in mind, Russia has interest in Iran, and also China has interest in Iran. These are the people that they're doing business with. These are the people that they're doing oil transfers with and shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of China's oil comes from Iran. You know, a lot of Russia's oil comes from Iran. So that's why these countries, even though China is a passive type of nation, they don't really pick sides, really. They're sending warships to the Strait of Hormuz because that's a very key point to their economy. So not only is the United States going to be trying to protect that strait, Iran is going to be trying to govern it. China is going to have interest in it. Russia is going to have interest in it. Eventually, everybody is going to have to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, every nation is going to want to obtain a nuclear weapon. Now, why nations want to obtain nuclear weapons is because they feel like that's the only way they can protect their nation from the next nation. As you can see, with Iran not having nuclear weapons, that's why America and Israel chose to invade it. You know what I'm saying? If we would have known that they already had nuclear weapons, then we wouldn't have did this shit because it would have been too dangerous for the world. A nuclear weapon is a dangerous weapon, and it can wipe out hundreds of thousands of people. You know what I'm saying? So if any of these countries detonate a damn nuclear weapon, it's going to basically change civilization. You know what I'm saying? It's really it's a bigger picture to what's happening right now. But anyways, let's get back to
hanging over the city. And with over 1,300 dead in Iran, according to the Red Crescent, the country's clerics have now announced they are close to selecting a new leader.
Exactly. Yeah, Iran has been a week from nuclear weapons for decades. Exactly. And that's been our excuse every time for invading them or doing some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And now that we did this is basically the nail on the coffin. Now that we killed Khamenei, and now that his goddamn son is in power, he's going to avenge the death of his father until he dies. You know what I'm saying? So now we just made it even hotter.
Crystallize around Ayatollah Khamenei's hardline son, Mujtaba. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's advisor, Michael Eisenberg, with a blunt message.
You know, the highest risk job right now is to be the new Ayatollah. That's a high-risk job. To be the head of the Iranian military, the IRGC, those are high-risk jobs. Don't take them.
They're going to be targeted.
Don't take those jobs.
Oh, yeah, that's what people are saying, too, Wade. They saying if Iran get a nuclear weapon, they going to use that motherfucker quick. They going to blow up the whole goddamn Israel, sap. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want to do. That's what Iran want to do. It's two enemies in Iran. America and Israel. They don't like us. That's why Americans had to get the fuck out of there. If they see any Americans over there, they're killing them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Christians and all of that shit, they don't rock with none of that over there. They don't do no Jesus, no none of that. You know what I'm saying? They'll kill their own people. That's how ruthless they are over there. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not safe.
These are high-risk jobs. We're watching it.
The president has demanded a say in the selection of Iran's next leader, and Israel's Netanyahu using an address overnight to directly speak to the Iranian people. He said, "I've been speaking to you and for you for decades."
Pay attention to this guy. Pay attention to this guy right here. Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, or the president. I think the prime minister, some shit. He's at the top of the food chain in Israel, and he's calling the goddamn shots. And right now, he's egging America on to blow up Iran so that he can gain more control and so that they can take over more territory over there in the Middle East. And so far, he's dragged us into the war. We got all of our military shit over there helping them. And we're trying to gain aerial superiority. Trump is saying that we're killing the mission. They said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate our success in the war? He said a 15. So he's just, you know what I'm saying? But that's what they're going to feed the American people, though. They don't want us to think that we're in no sort of trouble. You know what I'm saying? So right now, the only way we gonna feel the war is the gas prices. You know what I'm saying? The more you see them goddamn gas prices go up, that's how you know that we don't have control over that Strait of Hormuz over there. That's how you know Iran is still controlling that strait where our oil is coming through. As much as those oil prices keep creeping up. Now imagine we're supposed to have a reserve. We're supposed to have a lot of reserve oil here. But during the last presidency, Biden, he kind of depleted that reserve. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, by the end of his presidency, it was basically half full. So we don't have much of a reserve. Although we were able to gain some of that oil back off of the invasion of Venezuela. But now here we are, you know, in Iran doing some bullshit. It's just another example of America dipping its goddamn face somewhere where it don't even need to be. You know what I'm saying? If we worry about our goddamn self, we'll be a greater country, you know? But of course, we gotta be in everybody else's business and fight everybody else's fights. And right now we're fighting Netanyahu's fight. He wants us to help him take out Iran so that he can gain more territory over there and impose whatever principles he want to impose.
The moment of truth is approaching, for we do not seek to divide Iran, we seek to liberate Iran and live with it in peace. In Lebanon, Iran's main proxy in the region, Hezbollah, has stepped up rocket and drone fire at Israel. Overnight, most of that intercepted. In response, Israel has ordered some 300,000 residents of Hezbollah's stronghold in Beirut to flee, taking out building after building.
Now imagine if this type of shit was happening in America. This is what Iran wants. Iran wants a war on American territory. You feel me? That's what Iran want. They want this shit to come to the States. Imagine this type of destruction in your city. That's what they're doing over there in Iran. Buildings are coming down in the inner city. You know what I'm saying? This shit is serious. They got millions of people over there. All girls goddamn elementary school was hit with 160 schoolgirl children in it. All dead by a military strike. Just a few days after the goddamn war started. That was the, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that's going on right now. Innocent kids are being brought into this shit. Dead. Military strike. Hit the whole goddamn school. Blew up everything. And now they don't want to, nobody want to take blame for it. America said Israel did it. Israel said they don't know who did it. You know what I'm saying? Israel saying Iran did it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a bunch of bullshit. All it's doing is creating destruction. Creating more goddamn destruction in the world, you know? Now imagine all these families that's displaced over here. A lot of people are fleeing, trying to flee to different countries and shit. A lot of people didn't make it. Thousands of people are dead right now. And at the same time, it's a whole nother war going on in the world. The Ukraine and Russia war, the war in Ukraine is still going on. And be on the lookout for China and Taiwan. China is going to try to go to war with Taiwan soon. It's a lot of different shit that's going on and a lot of key points that's going to eventually come down to affecting us in our daily lives. Right now, it's starting with the gas prices.
Margaret, a short time ago, a bomblet from one of those cluster munitions landed in that building behind me. You can see it flung a car up in the air. They are now in the process of moving it. Israeli authorities telling me that Iran is now relying more heavily on those cluster munitions, which spread out those bomblets high up in the atmosphere, and they're finding those much more difficult to stop. Margaret. For 7 days.
Yeah, and another problem is these interceptors that America has, they cost millions of dollars. We're using these interceptors to stop these goddamn $50,000 drones, and it's not making sense. It's not going to make long-term sense. That's the whole America's whole problem. Our war, our military ammunitions and shit was built to fight during the Cold War and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the Cold War was mostly about flexing, like who got the biggest and better shit. You know what I'm saying? So now we got all this high-powered, high-dollar shit. And Iran is fighting us with fucking couple $1,000 drones. They got hundreds and hundreds of $1,000 drones, and we're trying to stop them with these $1 million receptors and shit. One damn missile from one of them interceptors costs damn near $1 million. Like, it's not making sense economically for the war, and that's why we're trying to make it a quick war. That's why Trump wants it to make it a quick war, because he knows we're spending a lot of goddamn money compared to what Iran is spending on this war. We're spending triple, quadruple that. And then a lot of times the missiles that's coming over here, the interceptors got to shoot like 4 goddamn missiles at it just to intercept it because it's missing it. So imagine how much money that is. A lot of shit just being thrown around, a lot of resources just being wasted, and it's just going to impact our economy.
The U.S. and Israel targeted regime leadership and military installations, but overnight, towering flames cast an eerie orange glow over Tehran after Israel struck what it said was an Iranian military fuel depot. Drivers on this highway detouring around the flames. Video circulating seems to show sewers and streets on fire as well. This morning, those fires still burning under blackened skies, a huge plume hanging over the city. And with over 1,300 dead in Iran, according to the Red Crescent, the country's...
All this just to cover up the Epstein files. Ain't that some shit? All this shit just to cover up the goddamn Epstein files. When they could have just came clean. They put the paperwork out there and then redacted all the bad motherfuckers. We didn't learn anything from none of the goddamn files that they put out. And now, boom, now we in World War III. They like, nah, fuck the Epstein files. It's never going to be solved. Now we got to worry about a goddamn war. You feel me? Pay attention to these different things. And that's how it's going to keep going here in America. They're going to try to use propaganda. 1 minute we're worried about this, next minute we're worried about this, next minute we're worried about this. You know what I'm saying? And nothing is getting resolved.
Clerics have now announced they are close to selecting a new leader. Support has recently crystallized around Ayatollah Khamenei's hardline son, Mujtaba. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's advisor, Michael Eisenberg, with a blunt message.
You know, the highest risk job right now is to be the new Ayatollah. That's a high-risk job. To be the head of the Iranian military, the IRGC, those are high-risk jobs. Don't take them.
They're going to be targeted.
Don't take those jobs. These are high-risk jobs. We're watching you.
The president has demanded a say in the selection of Iran's next leader, and Israel's Netanyahu using an address overnight to directly speak to the Iranian people. He said, "I've been speaking to you and for you for decades. The moment of truth is approaching, for we do not seek to divide Iran, we seek to liberate Iran and live with it in peace." In Lebanon, Iran's main proxy in the region, Hezbollah, has stepped up rocket and drone fire at Israel. Overnight, most of that intercepted. In response, Israel has ordered some 300,000 residents of Hezbollah's stronghold in...
We're on the ground in the region on day 8 of the Iran war. Here are the key things happening across the Middle East today. In Iran, the United States says it's carried out the biggest bombing campaign of the war so far overnight. As the conflict enters its second week, President Donald Trump insists there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. In response, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian says that the US demand is a dream that they should take to their grave. 3 American bombers that can carry 24 cruise missiles known as the Bone have landed at Fairford Air Base in the UK. As Trump warns Iran, it will be hit very hard. The IDF says that it has begun a broad wave of strikes towards infrastructure of the Iranian terror regime in Tehran and Isfahan. A police station in the western part of the country has been destroyed in one of those Israeli airstrikes. And explosions have been heard and smoke seen across the country, with Iran retaliating by firing missiles across the region, including Israel. Israel also continues to up its attacks on Lebanon, causing heavy explosions and smoke in Beirut's southern suburbs, a stronghold of the Iran-backed Hezbollah militia. There are warnings of a major humanitarian crisis as Israeli strikes displace thousands and widespread evacuation orders continue to be issued. The Gulf states have intercepted more ballistic missiles and drones today as Iran launched another wave of retaliatory strikes.
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
Thousands and thousands of people are displaced right now. Keep in mind the regular citizens, y'all. This ain't all political. You got to think on a civilian level also. A lot of people are being displaced. The whole country is at war. Like, people are dying left and right. You're seeing dead bodies in the street. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely not a game.
As it stopped 4 drones attacking the country's Shaiba oil field in a second attack within hours. In Dubai, people heard several blasts throughout the morning, with Emirati authorities saying that there had been a minor incident resulting from...
Dubai will never be the same again. Dubai as we knew it before this war, it'll never be that ever again in life. Ever since Iran bombed that hotel over there, it'll never be the place of wealth, the place of where wealthy people go to protect their interests and shit. It'll never be that ever again. That was the end of that. Nobody wants to put their money where it can be bombed by Iran. You know what I'm saying? All those big hotels and shit. And then think about this. Fresh water is a big resource that Dubai has to get through that strait. Like 60% of their fresh water is under warning right now. Like, this war Iran can really starve the GCC right now if they wanted to. They can hit the water plants. If they hit these water plants, the GCC Middle Eastern states over there, they could lose water in about 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Water, food, it's about a lot of different resources. But we're going to see how this play out over the next couple of days. Like I said, this is only day 8 of the war, and all of this shit is happening. But it's happening so fast, a lot of people don't even know it's happening because it's still not really affecting us. You know what I'm saying? It's still not really affecting us. All it's affecting is the gas prices. But stay tuned.
The fall of debris after an interception. It was a direct hit from a drone on the main airport, narrowly missing one of the terminal buildings. Questions are being raised over Russia's role in the war now after a new report said that Moscow is providing intelligence that could help Tehran strike U.S. military assets in the region.
Yep, that's another factor of it also. Russia is supposed to be providing Iran with intelligence to help them strike America. After we was just in talks with Putin, we thought we was in, you know what I'm saying? That's why you can't trust none of these goddamn leaders. At the end of the day, they gonna protect their interests over anything. You know what I'm saying? It's kill or be killed. And I feel like that's really how Trump is moving right now. He really playing cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work. And I feel like for it to work, he would have to just hammer down hard as hell. But then that kind of makes us weaker as a nation because we done used all our goddamn ammunition on Iran. Then what if China sees us as weak now? You know what I'm saying? China might see us as weak and try to hit us when we down or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You never know what could happen. But at the end of the day, all these countries don't really like America. They don't like America being the goddamn superpower of the world. They don't want to live under Western society policies and shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is what this shit is about. It's kind of a religious war. It's a half political and a half religious war. And that religious part is what's going to cause Iran to keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to let that up. It's tied to their religion. So this war is directly tied to their religion. And now the leader that we killed is now a martyr for their country and for their religion. And now his son is in power. So, yep, that's where we're at. Let's get back into it.
The second British government chartered flight from the Middle East has landed at Gatwick
We got
Airport.
62 people in here. I need more likes. It's only 13 likes. Get them likes up for me.
As of now, more than
4th, 2026. 3 hours ago,
We begin with breaking news on day 9 of President Trump's war in Iran. The U.S. and Israel unleashing fire and fury on the Middle East, with strikes sending oil facilities in Tehran up in flames, while Iran strikes Bahrain, Dubai, Kuwait, and southern Israel. Officials in Lebanon say 400 people, including 83 children, have been killed since the start of the war. UAE officials say Iran has fired 16 ballistic missiles and 117 drones in the last 9 days, as air travelers swarm the Dubai airport in efforts to leave the region. Bahrain officials say they intercepted 86 missiles and 148 drones, and both Iran and Bahrain say desalination plants are being hit with missiles. We begin with breaking news.
Breaking news. This Sunday morning, Iran launched a new wave of attacks across the Middle East. Iran has started a new military operation called Operation Fateh-e-Khaybar. Iran fired ballistic missiles toward Israel. Explosions were reported in Tel Aviv and the northern city of Haifa. Iran also launched missiles toward American targets in the region. U.S. military bases in Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE were targeted during the attacks.
The Speaker of the House said,
It's been amazing. We've knocked out 42 Navy ships, some of them very large, in 3 days. That was the end of the Navy. We knocked out their Air Force. We knocked out their communications, and all telecommunications is gone. I don't know how they communicate, but I guess they will figure something out. It's not working out too well. And they're bad people. They're just bad people. When you look at October 7th and beyond October 7th, look at all the killing that they've done over the years, for 47 years. And this had to be done. They were very close to a nuclear weapon. It's been amazing. We've knocked out.
See that? They were very close to a nuclear weapon. Now, if you go back to years over years, they've been saying that shit for fucking years. Since like 79. Since Khamenei came in power, they've been saying that shit. It's like, really, whenever it's a different leader than the Western that's not adopting Western values, then we accuse them of developing nuclear powers. But keep in mind, they are trying to develop a goddamn nuclear power, and pretty sure if they do get a nuclear bomb, they're going to blow up Israel. So that's what they're trying to avoid. You know what I'm saying? If Iran, the second Iran gets a nuclear bomb, Israel is gone. You feel me? That's what they're trying to avoid.
42 Navy ships, some of them very large, in 3 days. That was the end of the Navy. We knocked out their Air Force. We knocked out their communications, and all telecommunications is gone. I don't know how they communicate, but I guess they will figure something out. It's not working out too well. And they're bad people. They're just bad people. When you look at October 7th and beyond October 7th, look at all the killing that they've done.
Today, Iran's President Pezeshkian claimed that some countries have begun mediations to end a war that he says Iran did not start. But in a response, in a social media post, President Trump offering his latest evolution on an endgame on this war, saying he would only agree to a deal after Iran's unconditional surrender. Explosions and flames rocked Tehran today as Israeli fighter jets targeted the Iranian regime's primary wartime bunker. 100 munitions dropped in a fiery instant. Smoke blanketed Iran's capital. A fierce blast could be seen near the airport, and another attack turned the iconic Azadi sports complex into a smoldering husk. 7 days in, U.S. military says it has struck over 3,000 targets and damaged or destroyed 43 Iranian ships, sinking this drone carrier, bombing planes on the ground, and jet hangars. This past week, a strike destroyed an Iranian elementary school. Dozens of girls were killed, and a person familiar with the ongoing inquiry told CBS that investigators believe the U.S. may have been responsible, and were told by sources that the Israeli military was not operating there at the time. And tonight, as the war expands geographically, CBS has learned that...
Now, that's crazy. If America did that, y'all know how much that's gonna hurt Trump's ratings? Like, damn, bro, y'all done bombed a goddamn all-girls elementary school? Like, that's crazy, ain't it? Now, I know we don't support that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Them girls ain't had nothing to do with this political war, none of that shit. They ain't even old enough to drive.
Russia, a major U.S. adversary, is helping Iran identify U.S. targets in the region, including U.S. troop locations.
It clearly is not making a difference with respect to the military operations in Iran, because we are completely decimating them.
That is, overnight, one of 2 missile strikes aimed at a major U.S. airbase in Kuwait was successfully intercepted. Though Israel says it has destroyed up to 80% of Iran's missile capacity, missiles continued to blaze toward Tel Aviv overnight, but noticeably fewer.
The sirens just sounded here. You can see this woman and her daughter running to a shelter. Streets are empty here, but this is only the second sirens in the past 20 hours.
Decreasing drone and missile attacks from Iran have enabled charter flights carrying Americans to trickle back to the U.S. Some Democrats have blasted the administration for its chaotic handling of Americans stuck in the conflict zone.
It's clear that this administration has just been making this up as they go along.
Yeah, because a lot of people didn't even get really a heads up, really. Like, some people, they didn't really give them a lot of time to get out of the country before the war started. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to keep the strikes and shit under wraps. They wasn't trying to let nobody know when they were actually going to strike. So the Americans over there kind of caught them by surprise. And then they're trying to get out the country at the last minute. But shit, when it strikes and shit going on, and it's a war going, it's hard to get out of a war zone once the war already started. You pretty much goddamn stuck. You know what I'm saying? So they're rushing to get out of there right now because they know death is knocking on the door if they. So that's why, that's what I be saying. Like, hell nah, I can't go to Iran or none of that, especially not now. After this, nobody's gonna be visiting Iran, bro, or Israel, really, because shit, that's a war zone. They all at war. Dubai, that shit is off now. That's like a war zone now. They gonna be like, nah, hell nah. Fuck around, go to Dubai, get hit by a strike. You feel me?
The president is also facing criticism in the Persian Gulf. A Dubai billionaire asking the president on X, did you calculate the collateral damage before pulling the trigger?
And today, Qatar's energy minister has warned that continued war could, quote, bring down the economies of the world, end quote, predicting that all Gulf energy exporters would shut down production within weeks and drive oil to $150,000 or $150 a barrel. It is already at its highest level in more than 18 months. Today, Iran's President Pezeshkian...
China is sending a special envoy to the Middle East in the hope of trying to de-escalate tensions. But when President Trump...
What's the gas prices in y'all states right now? Let me know in the comment section. What's the gas prices like in y'all states? Right now, around my vicinity, I'm seeing like $2.47. Nah, not $2.47. $3.47. $3.47. I got gas today for $3.19, and that was the cheapest I can find around here. So cheapest I can find around here was $3.19. Let me know what the gas prices is in your state. at the moment.
Arrives here in Beijing in just over 3 weeks. Energy security will certainly be top of the agenda for President Xi. Under bleak winter skies, thousands of delegates arrived in Beijing for one of the most important dates in China's political calendar, the National People's Congress. But overshadowing proceedings, seismic events about 3,500 miles away, as the war in Iran continues with no end in sight. Are you concerned about the war in Iran and how it will affect China? Do you think that this is part of President Trump's plan to contain China? The US-led war on Iran has exposed China's Achilles heel, its reliance on oil and natural gas from the Persian Gulf. China is the largest importer of energy in the world and buys nearly all of Iran's sanctioned oil. Right now, its energy supply line has been severely disrupted.
Yup, see, and that's China's interest in this whole war. Texas, $2.49 2 weeks ago. Now it's $3.29. Damn, that's a big jump. $2.99 at independent places, $3.49 at the big names. Okay, then. $3.49 Richmond, Virginia. Damn. Yeah, man, that shit going up. Hopefully that shit don't. Hopefully that's the cap. Like, I ain't trying to see no gas prices $4 and $5. Y'all remember when that shit got up to like $5? Like, damn. You know what? It's time to whip out that old bike. You feel me? The old good and trusty bike. Or start dusting off your gym shoes and get to walking, cause shit, driving might become too expensive out here. Them gas prices, shit, get up to $10 a gallon. Hell nah. I'm gonna be like, shit. Line up them gym shoes, cuz.
China is also one of Iran's closest allies. Inside the Great Hall of the People, Chinese leader Xi Jinping watched on as the premier delivered the annual report and his country unveiled its new 5-year plan focusing on becoming technologically self-reliant. While the 5-year plan is critical in setting out China's strategy, the outcome of the war in the Middle East could have a much larger impact on the long-term future of China's economy. Facing a
oil at 92, $10 is not okay. Y'all want to pay $10 a gallon for gas? You know how much it'd be to fill up your car? $10 a gallon? Damn. Paying $100 at the pump just to get to the destination. You know what I'm saying? You better not be driving to no goddamn store where you got to pay more money. The economy is in danger right now, for sure. Job market is down. It's harder to find jobs right now. They don't want to pay you. You feel me? AI is taking over. They want to change everything to robots and shit. We being attacked in so many ways right now, and we don't even know it. It's hitting our pocketbook. It's hitting our futures.
Growing rivalry with the US, China is continuing to spend on defense and is aiming for global supremacy in selected areas of technology, including AI and quantum computing, Beijing's own vision for the future. Now, China is doing everything it can to shore up its stockpile of oil, but look, there could be benefits for China if this is a protracted conflict. If the US is draining all its resources, its military hardware, and also then losing focus on its greatest power rival, it could in fact benefit China, Vlad. China is...
Breaking news. This is Tel Aviv today after a barrage of missiles from Iran came through last night. The attacks continue today with fewer missiles, but many more drones that America and Israel cannot stop. Today, Iran launched a new generation missile, and Iranian missiles and drones are dominating the Israeli skies. An Iranian drone struck a U.S. base in Kuwait, damaging key U.S. facilities. And 3 hours ago, the IRGC Navy hit the USS Abraham Lincoln, and the carrier retreated. Also, a ballistic missile dropped on a U.S. base in Saudi Arabia within inches of hitting U.S. soldiers, and U.S. soldiers have it on tape. I have never seen Tel Aviv look like we're seeing it now. I know that Netanyahu and the whole Israeli society has to be shocked at what Iran and Hezbollah are doing to them. And I have to be honest, I am as well. Last night, Iran used a cluster bomb that did major damage, and Israelis are crying foul and saying that it is against international law. Well, Israelis, in 2006, an IDF commander said they fired more than 1 million cluster bombs into Lebanon. Were you guys crying against international law then? I didn't think so. Trump posted on his Truth Social today and said there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. He also said he'll be the one choosing who leads Iran next. What role?
Yep, but listen, what he's saying is not going, because you can see he said he gonna have some say into their next leader, and just right then, look who the next leader is, his son. Trump also said that if anybody else try to take power without him getting say, then they gonna die. So we gonna see what happened in these next couple of days.
What is this guy living in? I thought he wanted Iranians to choose their leader. Oh, I get it. It's choose, and if I don't like it, keep choosing. Anyways, stay tuned for more updates.
As you know, words matter. Does the Trump administration, do you describe this as a war against Iran?
Well, I describe it as Iran's been at war with us, as I just said.
So it's a war. It is a war.
President Trump is ending it. Look, I'll leave it to the lawyers and those who deal with Congress in terms of the war power.
Watch how look how he dancing around it. These politicians are professional dancers. You feel me? You ask them a goddamn question, they gonna get the jigging on your ass. You feel me? They get the bobbing, spinning, weaving and shit. Like, stay your ass still and answer the goddamn question. They're professional dancers. Watch how he dance around the answer.
Act, which every administration is viewed as unconstitutional. That said, Secretary Rubio has been there day after day and week after week in the recent months to appropriately brief congressional leaders. But I'll tell you who does believe that they're being attacked. It's the soldiers that have been buried for many, many years as a result of Iranian attacks and their proxy attacks, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, and others in Beirut in 1983 and Iraq through those years, over 600 American soldiers. So, I mean, we have to take a step back, Kirsten, and look at how many billions, how much time, how much treasure that administration after administration has spent dealing with this. President Trump put diplomacy first, both last year and this year. It was clear the Iranians were not negotiating in good faith, had no intention of backing away from its nuclear intentions. We're trying to protect it with a massive phalanx and shield of ballistic missiles that they were quadrupling their production of on a month-by-month basis. And finally, President...
Now, don't get it twisted now. If you're in America, you should be rooting for America. You don't want to be on a losing end of this war. You know what I'm saying? If you in America, you want America to win. You gotta have American pride, even if you don't agree with what we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? If you don't agree with what the country is doing right now, you gotta go with it because you live in here. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what no matter what your opinion is, the shit is happening.
Trump said enough is enough.
As you know, words matter.
It's happening right now.
And by the way, You know who are the only two countries ever that have said death upon America around the world? Who are the only two countries where their leader has said death upon America?
Iran and North Korea.
North Korea. Those are the only two. And guess who said it first?
Iran?
North Korea said it in the 50s first, early 50s, 54, something like that. And then Iran slipped it and said it. And then now it's like guess who's leading the leaders bulletin on who says death upon America?
Yeah.
Iran is.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about, they have weapons of mass destruction. When I heard people saying, from Trump's administration, well, let me tell you, Iran has weapons of mass destruction. I'm not worried about the weapons of mass destruction. My concern is who is at the top that has the decisions to make. And by the way, you know who are the only two countries ever that have said death upon America around the world? Who are the only two countries where their leader has said death upon America?
Iran.
Yeah, Iran chants. That's one of their chants. Death to America. Death to America. You know what I'm saying? North Korea used to say that, but they don't say that right now. But they still they got nuclear weapons. So we can't fuck with no country that got nuclear weapons. Venezuela, they didn't have nuclear weapons. If they did, we wouldn't have invaded them. You know what I'm saying? That's just the bottom line. That's why these countries try to get nuclear weapons, because once you obtain a nuclear weapon, no other country can really fuck with you.
And North Korea?
North Korea. Those are the only two. And guess who said it first?
Iran?
North Korea said it in the 50s first, early 50s.
And we have breaking news now from the United States. A resolution to curb Donald Trump's military powers in Iran has again been blocked by Republicans, this time in the House of Representatives. It is a win for the US president, who is speaking now on Iran with this message to diplomats in the country.
We also urge Iranian diplomats around the world to request asylum and to help us shape a new and better Iran with great potential. It's a country with great potential. There's much better future for Iran. It's now beginning. It's going to be, I think, a great future.
The US president is also pushing to be...
But that, Trump, I need you, if you really want to win this war, you got to take out everything, bro. And you got to claim you the goddamn supreme leader. Trump is the supreme leader of Iran. That's when I can say, okay, we won the goddamn war. You feel me? At least. Shit. Once Trump get up there and say, I am the new supreme leader of Iran. You feel me? Then we'd be like, okay, we got Venezuela. We got Iran. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's looking kind of shaky. Right now, it's looking kind of shaky. I don't know, because they just said Machoba Ayatollah, no, Machoba Kawani or whatever they said it was somebody else. And I know Trump don't want him to be the leader for sure. You know what I'm saying? So that means we're not really winning. So I'll know we're winning when we get over there and Trump be like, I'm the new supreme leader of Iran until further notice. Fuck that.
Part of the negotiations to decide Iran's new leader. And we have breaking news now from the United States.
Take you to live pictures of RAF Fairford now, where new planes have been landing, sent by the Americans, of course, to this British base that is now available to use by the Americans.
What y'all think? Y'all think he got a chance? Trump gonna go over there like, I'm the goddamn supreme leader. Yeah, for the next 100 years under Trump's rule, nigga.
For defensive purposes. A little bit earlier, GBN aviation sources were telling us that a US Air Force C-17, now that's a heavy transport plane, was heading to RAF Fairford via Joint Base McGuire. Now, this appears to be that USAF C-17 transport plane. It could be carrying munitions, it could be carrying vital equipment, but it is a big, big plane carrying what we assume to be a lot of very expensive kit.
United States of Iran? I don't know. What y'all think? Shit.
And this just shows the scale of the American operation that is now belatedly allowed to use British bases like RAF Fairford.
We got all of our firepower over there. We got all of our aircraft carriers. We got warships. We got big war planes over there. We dropping bombs down left and right. You know what I'm saying? And still, they're still picking their president and shit. Where did they have the time to even make this announcement at? They need to be bombing. Where did they have even the time to set up the camera and tell us that the new person was the leader? That's what I want to know. That's how you know we need to do more, because this shit ain't working. That's why I'm saying, if we gonna win this war, we need total obliteration. We need total obliteration to win this war. And I need Trump to get up there and be like, I am the new supreme leader of Iran for the next 100 years.
For 48 hours at the start of this conflict, the British government refused to allow the use of bases, whether in this country or further afield by the Americans. Particularly Diego Garcia, out in the British Indian Ocean Territory, was a base that Keir Starmer refused the Americans' use of. And that meant that it was an extraordinarily long journey for American planes to take off from US soil all the way to Iran and back. A 37 or maybe a 27-hour round trip. Just extraordinary. But now what we're seeing, of course, is American planes coming into land at RAF Fairford a little bit earlier.
We got to stop for a quick second, because something Trump said today about American troops should stop us all in our damn tracks. Right now, while this war with Iran keeps escalating, Trump admitted something that should make every American uncomfortable. He said that U.S. casualties are probably going to be quite a bit higher. Think about that. You don't say something like that unless you already believe the numbers are going up. And the official death toll of American service members has already increased since the first reports came out. But that's not the only thing happening right now. All right, Iran is now claiming that they've captured American troops. Their government says U.S. soldiers were taken prisoner and that Washington is hiding it. Now, the U.S. military says that that claim is false. But here's the reality. When you have an administration that lies constantly, cheats constantly, and spins the truth every single day, people stop trusting what they're told. And that's the real danger. This administration runs around pounding their chests and talking tough like they're warriors. But you know they're not. They're politicians and billionaires sitting in comfortable rooms pretending to be strong, while other people's kids are the ones walking into war zones. It sort of feels like they're trying to take over a country instead of liberating it, because the talks of how the country is ran and helping women and children has been dropped. I can only hope that the soldiers within the 82nd Airborne are self-aware of what is happening, because I can tell you that a lot of us weren't back in 2002 and 2003. But I want to hear what you think. Do you believe that the government is telling us the full truth about the casualties and everything happening right now? Or do you think that they're bluffing and just hiding things like this?
Yeah, it's a lot of hiding going on. It's a lot of hiding going on. Definitely, that's real for sure. You gotta understand that we only know what they tell us. We only know what they tell us. You know what I'm saying? This is why it's very important to do your own research. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm here.
Sure.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hickson? It was Iran who did that? We're certainly investigating.
See, you see how they both contradicting themselves? Trump is like, it was Iran. Hegseth is like, we're investigating it. And then the other report, they said it was the United States. Now, I feel like once the reports actually come out that the United States hit this girls' school and killed 163 all-girl students for literally no reason at all, that's going to really change the whole trajectory of this war.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done by Iran.
Did the United States bomb the girls out?
Look, it was done by Iran. Look, by the time he done talking, he like, for sure it was done by Iran. That's what I'm saying, bro. They gonna tell us whatever the hell, say one thing and do another. I feel like that's how the whole presidency going, really. But Trump is trying to prove a point. Remember, this is his last term. This is it. He's doing all the things. This might be the most action-packed presidency y'all ever see in y'all lifetime. So pay attention.
Elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hickson? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still
But
investigating.
the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done by Iran.
Can you give us an
Because they're very inaccurate, as you know,
Yeah,
with
that's true.
their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done.
I know people are scared. I know that we didn't really see this coming this way. I'm with you. America is at war. Now, is that a statement or is it really a question? Depends who you ask. President called it war, says the worst is yet to come for Iran, that this will last weeks. He says we may well see more American deaths. Sounds like war, doesn't it? His Secretary of War says it's not a war, but that he's open to boots on the ground. Does it matter if it is a war? Legally? Absolutely. Politically, it should, but practically at home, no, because Congress, the majority, doesn't care to do its duty. It also matters in terms of the transparency of what this is really about. So far, it's hard to tell.
What do you think will happen? How will this end, in your view?
Well, we've got two strategies in competition. We can see what they are now after a week. So the United States is saying we will demolish the ability of Iran to project force outside of its borders. That's the military objective. That's what the military say. And if they're given an objective, they can do that. It'll take some time. It'll take some 2 or 3 weeks or more to literally take down everything they've got of a military nature. But what the politics is behind that, we still don't know because President Trump hasn't made his mind up. So are they just trying to hurt Iran or to create regime change or somehow to make sure that there are no ballistic missile capabilities, no military, no nuclear? So that's possible. That's their strategy, which doesn't have an end point politically. The Iranians have a clearer strategy. It probably won't work, but it's clearer, which is to say to make this war painful for everybody so that President Trump eventually feels pressures from the American public, from the economy, from East Asia, from the allies in the Gulf, and then he will declare victory and walk away. Right? That's what he'll do. And he'll say it's the biggest victory in the world, and the Iranian revolution will still be there. That's the point. And remember, as far as they're concerned, they're fighting for their lives, and they're fighting for God. You know, they don't think in the way that we would think of rational thought, because for them this is a religious war against Satan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the thing, too. For them, this is a religious war, exactly how he's explaining it, against satanic forces, and we are the goddamn satanic force to them. That's how they view it. We're the goddamn satanic force that done killed their goddamn leader. You know what I'm saying? So now imagine like how they're going to emerge back. You know, that's why we got to keep putting money into our military. We need to get more goddamn AKs. We need more goddamn tanks. We need to get switches on all of our Glocks. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit is getting crazy out here.
Forces of the Americans. And so if they're there at the end of it, the fact that Iran will be on its knees is incidental to the fact that they have survived as God intended. And if Iran is wrecked, well, that's God's purpose.
What do you think will happen? How will this end, in your view? A week after it began, the war in the Middle East continues to rage. Iran came under heavy bombardment from the US and Israel overnight, and there were fresh strikes on Gulf states by Iran this morning, despite an apology from Iran's president, who said the army was being ordered to stop attacking the country's neighbors unless they were directly involved in attacks on Iran. Well, Lorna Shaddock has the latest.
This is what America's biggest bombing campaign yet looks like for those who execute it. Donald Trump's quest to force Iran's unconditional surrender entering its second week, with Tehran's commercial
That shit look like a video game, don't it?
airport said to be among last night's targets.
Will do the most damage to the Iranian missile launchers, the factories that build the missiles, and we are substantially degrading them.
They're playing Call of Duty.
Our campaign has been overwhelming.
It's coming to the airport again. Yeah.
But Iran can still unleash its own destruction.
Oh my God.
This video appearing to show Dubai airport targeted, though Iran's president has apologized, saying the country will stop attacking its neighbors. Too late for the many Brits still stuck in the region, these though among the lucky ones, heading home on a second government repatriation flight from Oman, now touched down at Gatwick. But also arriving in the UK, several huge US bombers, now using RAF Fairford as a base for what the government calls defensive action.
What we're doing as the UK Armed Forces and what the UK is doing is protecting Britons who are in the region and protecting our interests, and that feels to me entirely right.
Later today, the man who sent his armed forces into danger will be present as 6 of them are returned in coffins. In the face of administration bravado, a reminder of the costs of conflict.
A week after it began, the war in the Middle East continues to rage. Iran came under heavy bombardment from the US and Israel overnight, and there were fresh strikes on Gulf states by Iran this morning.
America's heaviest artillery, the Pt.1 bomber, on a mission of destruction, matched by a menacing promise.
The hardest hits are yet to come from the U.S. military. The next phase will be even more punishing on Iran than it is right now.
And Iranian warships are the latest in the line of fire. 11 vessels wiped out, more than 1,250 targets blasted by the U.S.
Bro, y'all gotta remember, Trump is a Gemini. Kanye is a Gemini. Y'all see how irrational Kanye be acting? That's how Trump is as a president, bro. He's irrational. This shit could go any way. You know what I'm saying? This shit could go any way. He could wake up tomorrow and be like, fuck it, send a nuclear weapon over there. Send a nuke at that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It could go any way.
Including this ballistic missile. At least 2 people standing nearby disappear from the screen. The military assault isn't slowing down. The Pentagon now moving more assets into the region. From the US president, a declaration of whatever it takes. In his first public event since giving the mission the green light, Donald Trump reiterating this campaign could last weeks.
We have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it. Whatever somebody said today, they said, oh, well, the president wants to do it really quickly. After that, he'll get bored. I don't get bored. There's nothing boring about this.
It was 3:38 p.m. in Florida on Friday when
we don't get bored. We gonna keep bombing, cuz. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all gotta remember, we got the strongest military in the world. You know what I'm saying? So I've been telling y'all this stuff for a long time. You know? We got the strongest military in the world. Y'all see what we did to Maduro and them. You feel me? We got that under our belt. The other countries, they saw us do that. You know what I'm saying? We did that. We went over there. We got Maduro. We sent him over to our country. And he locked up in New York somewhere. Him and his wife. You feel me? We was able to do what we wanted to do. We was able to take some oil back home. Feed the people. You know what I'm saying? In Iran, we wasn't able to do that same thing. We had to kill the leader there. We couldn't take him back to America for justice. We had to just hit him. You feel me? Because they were insubordinate. They don't give up. They not surrendering for shit. You feel me? They chant over there. They chant death to America. They don't give a fuck. You feel me? They like, hell no, cuz. You got to come and kill us if you want us to do anything. So that's what we had to do. We went over there and we killed them. But Ayatollah, he set up a bunch of different people to be in charge in case he died. He was actually expecting to die. He wanted to die there. You know what I'm saying? He had the opportunity to leave the country before America came. He wanted to die there because that's what placed him. He's now a martyr in that country. You know what I'm saying? And now look who's in power. His son. They just announced it. His son is in power. During the war, they just announced it. So during this couple of weeks war, with them announcing that he's in power, that just added about 2 years to the war. So I don't know how this shit gonna go. All I know is I need them gas prices to drop it like it's hot, because I cannot sustain $5 a gallon. You feel me? For the future. I don't want that to be the future. $5 a gallon, that sounds horrible. You know what I'm saying? Think of if you driving a diesel. If you driving a diesel, you might as well go ahead and park it, cuz it ain't If you driving them big ass trucks, them gas guzzler ass trucks, you might as well go ahead and park it, cuz it's about to get ugly. It's about to get ugly. Them gas prices, they might go up to about $25 a gallon. $25 a gallon, we gonna be paying like $350 for a full tank. And you gonna have to go park that motherfucker and walk to work because you ain't even gonna be able to afford to do it no more. We ain't even gonna be able to afford to do it like we do it. You feel me?
US president gave direct authorization to launch this war. The Pentagon revealing his precise wording. Operation Epic Fury is approved. No aborts. Good luck. And as dawn arrived in the Middle East, America surged to the skies.
More than 100 aircraft launched from land, sea, fighters, tankers, airborne early warning, electronic attack, bombers from the States and unmanned platforms, forming a single synchronized wave.
This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change, and the world is better off for it.
He said the regime sure did change. Did it really? No, it didn't. The regime didn't change, y'all. See, this is what this is what I'm saying to y'all. They're gonna feed us propaganda. They're gonna tell y'all what y'all want to hear. And then they're going to tell us that we won the goddamn war and that there was a regime change when there wasn't a regime change. All we did was transfer power to the next dangerous motherfucker, the even more dangerous motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Pentagon and the president haven't ruled out putting boots on the ground in the Middle East.
Okay, Pat, then tell me what's happening then, Pat. Since you know it all and I don't know nothing, tell me what the hell's going on then. Since y'all know it all and I don't know a goddamn thing, then what the hell's happening then? Why we at war? Why we bombing them for? And why is they trying to bomb Israel? And why the fuck is my gas prices going up? Because I need to know.
Amid an expanding conflict, a warning: American casualties will grow.
If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation.
You see that? You fuck with America? You fuck with Americans, bro? That's your goddamn ass. And guess what? 7 Americans died. Now we going for 7 million, mother. You feel me? 7 Americans died. Now we need 1 million people to avenge each of their deaths. So we need 7 million casualties. That's how we play it. Cutthroat. You feel me? Listen to what he's saying. Let me rewind it back.
And the world is better off for it.
The Pentagon and the president haven't ruled out putting boots on the ground in the Middle East, but amid an expanding conflict, a warning American casualties will grow.
If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology. And
MDMA, you hear that? Was that a threat? Nah, we don't feel you. Oh, you trying to threaten me? Because you heard what he said. If you threaten Americans, we gonna hunt your ass down. You feel me? So don't be coming over here threatening an American, because get what? We gonna hunt your ass down. Listen to it.
Without hesitation, and we will kill you.
Come on, cuz. Listen to what he's saying, cuz.
World is better off for it.
We gonna hunt your ass down, and we will kill you.
The Pentagon and the president haven't ruled out putting boots on the ground in the Middle East, but amid an expanding conflict, a warning American casualties will grow.
Bro.
If you kill Americans,
listen to him.
If you threaten Americans,
y'all threatening me? Y'all better not be threatening me in that goddamn comment section, because you know I'm going to send Pt.1 Hegseth on your ass. You feel me?
Anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down.
Anywhere on earth. You heard that? Anywhere on earth, an American getting threatened. If y'all want to threaten me over the goddamn, hell no.
Without apology and
without apology.
Without hesitation.
And without hesitation. But this shit is a pledge of allegiance, cuz. This the American way. The American pledge of allegiance. Listen to it.
And we will kill you.
A worldwide caution alert issued
That's it, and that's all.
All Americans, and the State Department urging citizens to get out of more than a dozen countries across.
Oh yeah, he must be in Iran. Hell nah, get him, y'all.
The Middle East.
Get him, y'all.
Sirens blaring at the U.S. Embassy in Jordan, while the embassy in Saudi Arabia has been hit by
Hell nah, we must have an Iranian in here. Get him, y'all. What the hell?
Suspected Iranian drones.
War is hell, and always will be.
In Washington, D.C., Lauren Tomazi, 9 News.
They're tough, and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do. We've had 47 years, depending on the way you count it, but 47 years of horror with this group. And, when you see somebody walking down the street without their legs, without the arms, whose face is so badly affected and hurt, it mostly came from 95% Soleimani and Iran, and we, other presidents, lived with it. I didn't live with it. And so our people are doing a great job. Again, the greatest military anyone's seen. They're tough.
The greatest military anyone's ever seen in a goddamn world. And you know who it belongs to? America.
And they want to fight.
Iran, please stop. We lose, you win. Please stop.
Please, Iran, forgive us. Stop the destruction.
Please leave me alone.
Israel is the only country for us.
Iran, please.
As fast as Iran can clean up debris from the last strike, there's a new one. As the U.S. and Israel say, they are carving up the country, dividing targets by region, and producing what the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth today described as death and destruction from the sky all day long.
We're playing for keeps.
Hey, Hegseth don't give a fuck. You feel me? You gotta say the fuck with a capital F with 3 F's on that motherfucker. You feel me? Hegseth don't give a fuck. He came up there like, we're playing for keeps. The fuck? You feel me? Like, he don't
Our
give a
warfighters have maximum
fuck you thought
authorities
this
granted
was, cuz?
personally by the president and yours truly.
The U.S. said it had struck or sunk to the bottom of the ocean more than 20 Iranian naval vessels. Among them, this one off the coast of Sri Lanka. Footage released just hours ago showing the moment of impact. A single torpedo launched from an American submarine, the first such sinking of an enemy ship since World War II. Meanwhile, in the skies over Iran, the IDF says an Israeli F-35, in another first, took out an Iranian warplane, as other Israeli jets took aim at Iranian police stations, detention centers, and other parts of its internal police.
Pete be popping and shit. You feel me? Pete got up there like, yeah, what? We playing for keeps. You feel me? That's what I gotta say, nigga. Fuck that. Whatever they said, fuck that. We hitting them hard and we playing for keeps, nigga.
State. The latest sign that the U.S. and Israel hope that what bombs can't do from above, the Iranian people will do from the ground. Effie Defrin is an IDF brigadier general.
We don't have aim to change the regime as military, but we want to shake this horrible terror regime.
The strikes on Iran were so intense that state television announced it would postpone funeral ceremonies for the supreme leader. And Israel warned that a successor with the same ideology as the Ayatollah would also be a, quote, unequivocal target for elimination.
See that? Unequivocal target for elimination. Pay attention now. So that means that Ayatollah's son that just claimed that he's the new supreme leader, we don't want that, and we not gonna settle for that. And right now he's up for elimination. You heard what he said? He up for elimination. Now we not gonna rest until we get him now. You see that? Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying so I can tell you lying. And then we could just tell each other that we both lying. You feel me?
Nearly 800 people in Iran have died so far in the U.S.-Israeli strikes, according to the Iranian Red Crescent.
I didn't. Nope, you lying. Fuck that.
But Iran's leaders pledged to continue fighting, launching fresh strikes on Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Qatar, including the largest U.S. in the region there. Iran and its allies in Lebanon deployed a coordinated barrage at Israel today, triggering sirens throughout the...
Nah, y'all lying. I think y'all lying. You know what? I think y'all might be delusional. Y'all don't understand what's going on right now. I'm sitting here showing y'all what's going on in the world, and y'all telling me that that's not what's happening and that's not what's going to happen. But clearly that's what's happening. But I'm lying about it. How the hell I'm lying about it when the proof is right here? You know what I'm saying? Even though these days you can't believe nothing that you see or hear. So who knows? This could all be a simulation. You know what I'm saying? This could all be a simulation. Maybe the war ain't even goddamn happening. We just stuck in a goddamn simulation to where we just think it's a war. I don't know.
Country. Israel, for its part, deepened its counter-assault on Hezbollah in Lebanon, telling resident part of the country to leave immediately. And with Americans trapped in the region, the U.S. government announced plans to evacuate U.S. nationals from multiple countries.
We should not be at this war. I believe it's wrong.
In Washington, Democrats and some Republicans denounced what they fear will be another costly American operation in the Middle East.
How do you avoid this becoming a grinding, long-term death trap for both Israel and America?
Well, again, let me start by explaining that, Iran is posing a threat not only for Israel, the region, it's also the entire world.
So y'all think Biden would be leading the country better right now? I can definitely assure you that if Biden was president right now, we wouldn't be going to war. Biden is kind of more passive. You know what I'm saying? he's not really like a war-like type person. You know what I'm saying? Trump is trying to take on the whole war general type of aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? So he thinks that getting us into this war is going, boost his ratings and boost his you know what I'm saying, his macho aesthetic or whatever. He really want to go for a third term. Y'all gonna vote Trump in for a third term? If you want Trump to serve a third term, let me know in the comment section. Because I know some of y'all do. Some of y'all love Trump. Y'all want to keep him. Some of y'all hate him. And y'all want to push him off the edge of a cliff. You feel me?
The reason I ask this question in this way is because from an American perspective, we look at wars in the Middle East and we think of Iraq and Afghanistan. It becomes a quagmire, a swamp where people go, die, and nothing changes. How do you avoid that here?
I totally understand you. Iran is producing missiles. They already hit Cyprus. They have American blood on their hands. They are a problem of the world.
As fast as Iran.
American blood on their hands. Like I said, 7 Americans have perished during this war since Trump's decision to drop those bombs down on Kalamani. And where we're at right now, we're obliterating targets. From what I got, from what Trump told me that we are hitting targets. We're doing a great job. And the gas price is going to go up a little bit. But it's only going to be temporary. It's going to last a few weeks. And the plan is to obliterate all their military capabilities. And then we're going to go in there and we're going to take all their enriched uranium so that they have no way of ever creating a goddamn nuclear weapon in their goddamn life. Okay? The reason why we can't let Iran get a nuclear weapon is because the minute Iran gets a nuclear weapon, they gonna throw that motherfucker at Israel and they gonna blow Netanyahu's goddamn head off ASAP. You feel me? They not even gonna hesitate. And that's why. And then guess what? We gonna have to step in. Once they blow up Israel, then it's gonna be a nuclear war. And the nuclear war ain't good for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Once they start throwing around them nuclear weapons and shit, it's a wrap. You might as well call it a day, cause shit. Yeah, once they start throwing them nuclear weapons around, it's a wrap for us. You feel me? One nuclear weapon can kill like 500,000 people. And then not only that, it can mess up the landscape for generations. Like just the what do they call it? Like the radioactiveness of the bomb and shit is unsafe for people to live in that area for generations out. You know what I'm saying? It's only been what happened when Pearl Harbor happened. After Pearl Harbor, our retaliation on Japan for doing Pearl Harbor, what we did was drop Hiroshima. And what Hiroshima did was kill about 300,000 people in that region. You know what I'm saying? It's a very serious thing. This is why we do not play with nuclear weapons. Okay? So when these irrational countries get these nuclear weapons and they just want to start detonating shit, like they don't care about nobody but themselves, especially when it's about when they relate it to their religion. That's the whole thing about it. See, our political views in America isn't closely tied to our religions like that. But I feel like that's how people want to make it. You know what I'm saying? Because once you say that you voted for Trump or some shit, motherfucker act like you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers will try to judge you on who you voted for. Like some stupid shit. That's the type shit that we own in America. But over there in Iran, the shit is close. It's about religion. Politics and religion is one and the same over there. So they're viewing this shit as a whole. They're viewing this shit as like a fucking revolution. Like, you feel me? We're viewing this shit as like a political war. And, you know, we're just going to have to see how it turns out.
One can clean up debris from the last strike. There's a new one. As the U.S. and Israel say, they are carving up the country, dividing targets by region.
Yes, all Muslim laws there. That's the thing. All the ladies, they got to stay covered up. They live by these certain values. The laws is the religious laws. You know what I'm saying? They got religious laws over there.
What the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said today.
America is the devil. They think America in the Western society is the devil.
If Iran launched a nuclear attack on the United States, which states might be the safest? First, if you are in Montana.
See that? They already speculating. They already speculating. That's the thing. If they got nuclear weapons, but pay attention now. After this war is over, if the regime is not changed and these people are still in power, I can guarantee you in the next 20 years, it's going to be another war. And it's going to be a nuclear war.
Nebraska or North Dakota.
Shannon, good morning. Overnight flames spewed from oil facilities on the outskirts of Tehran. An inferno engulfed the fuel storage sites after they were hit in Israeli strikes. These were the first attacks on Iran's oil infrastructure since the war began.
Don't get it twisted, though. America, we got nuclear weapons here. We got thousands of nuclear weapons. And guess what? We got our nuclear weapons set up in different countries and different parts of the world, just in case different countries try to attack us or some shit. We got our nukes set up in different different positions. We got the highest amount of nuclear weapons in the world, actually. America. That's why we're the goddamn superpower. Okay? But don't get it twisted. North Korea, they got fucking nuclear weapons also. Kim Jong-un and them, yeah, we don't fuck with them too much. We can't fuck with them. Why? Because they got nuclear powers. Trump called Kim Jong-un the Rocket Man. He called him the Rocket Man. He like, shit, he got the goddamn rockets. We can't fuck with them. Putin and them, they got nuclear weapons. That's why we can't really fuck with them either. You know what I'm saying? China, they got a few nuclear weapons too, but they kind of behind. You will be surprised. China is kind of behind on their nuclear weapon production. Even Africa, South Africa has nuclear weapons. You know what I'm saying? You don't even really hear about Africa going to war too much. You know what I'm saying? You haven't even really heard about Africa in this war. You know what I'm saying? But they got nuclear weapons also. The quiet countries that you don't hear too much about are really some dangerous countries. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think. Like, that's why the countries that we don't try to too much fuck with, we gotta make trade deals with them because that's the only way. Or put a tariff on them.
Regarding what we will do next in Iran, we have an organized plan with many surprises to destabilize the regime and enable change. We have many more targets, and I will not.
How you gonna tell me they ain't got nukes, bro? They do got nukes, bro. They got the nukes over there, bro.
Detail them here.
Shannon, good morning. Overnight flames.
See, China got 500 nukes. Russia between 2,000 and 5,000. Only SA have atomic weaponry in Africa. They got nuclear weapons in South Africa. I think they do. They might not. I don't know. That's what I heard. I heard they got a nuclear weapon in South Africa. And that's why we can't really fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? Any country that has a nuclear weapon, you won't see America going to war with. That's the bottom line. Mexico, they don't got no goddamn nuclear weapons. Canada, they don't got no goddamn nuclear weapons. Let's see. Australia, they don't got no nuclear weapons. Nope. Who else? Europe and all them places? Nope. They don't get no nuclear weapons. Only the superpowers of the world, which is China, America, Russia, North Korea. Yeah. Them the main ones right there. We can't go to war with, we don't want to go to war with China.
Spewed from oil facilities on the outskirts of Tehran. An inferno engulfed the fuel storage sites after they were hit in Israeli strikes. These were the first attacks on Iran's oil infrastructure since the war began.
France and UK, they ain't the big superpowers of the world. But they might have a nuke though. I don't know. But I don't think they the superpowers. I don't even think Israel's in a superpower. Like the big three, okay, the big three of the world, you feel me? America, China, and I would say what? Russia. America, China, and Russia is the big three of the world. What y'all think? Am I wrong? What would y'all think? What would y'all say? America, China, and who else? I know America and China, they got the 1 and 2 spot for sure. But that third spot is contingent. It could be Russia, or it could be North Korea also. Yeah. America, China, Russia. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, America, China, and Russia. If we all teamed up, if America, China, and Russia teamed up, we can take over the world. You feel me? That's world domination right there. If America, China, and Russia teamed up and said we just want the rest of the world to ourselves, we could do it. We'd be like, you know what? This shit is ours. And our militaries are joined together and we'll just take over the whole world. What y'all think? I think we can do it. I think we can do it. We all join together, and then it'll be just our shit. You feel? Then who gonna be our supreme leader? Y'all still want Trump? Y'all still gonna want Trump? We gonna elect Trump as the supreme leader of the new world? Or what we gonna do, y'all? How we gonna run it? You feel me? Russia, China, and America. Yeah, America, China, and Russia. We all gotta join forces and we gotta take over the world. That's the next step. Okay? If we can get some motion going on that plan, then we'll be in business. But right now, we can't do it by ourselves. America, we can't do it by ourselves. Israel, it's just too small. You know what I'm saying? Russia can take out Israel. China can take out Israel. They see Israel as like the little guy that's just trying to, you know what I'm saying? We just trying to preserve Israel because it's like a holy place. You know what I'm saying? It's like a holy place in the Bible and all this shit. But really, Russia can really just wipe them on out. China can knock them off. You know what I'm saying? North Korea can knock them off the map if they wanted them. So we're really just trying to help them out. But really, if we join forces with China and Russia and just be like, you know what? The world is ours, nigga. Fuck that.
Regarding what we will do next in Iran, we have an organized plan with many surprises to destabilize the regime and enable change. We have many more targets, and I will not detail them here.
Shannon, good morning. Overnight.
That's crazy though. That's what I heard. Russia ain't doing that good in Ukraine. Like thousands of soldiers done died in Ukraine during this Ukraine war, and they still over there fighting. America done tried to intervene with that. We done tried to help Ukraine. So, okay, this is the reason why Russia is gonna end up helping Iran even more. Because the way we help Ukraine during their war against Russia type shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's tit for tat. Now it's rumors that Russia is helping Iran against America. Like, come on now. So there you have it. It's no mutual respect between Russia and America. Russia, they'll backdoor us in a second. So we can't trust Russia, y'all. We cannot trust Russia at all. Fuck that. You feel me? I thought I could trust them, but after I think about when I think about history, nope, we can't trust Russia. Fuck that. They'll backdoor us. Russia backdoor our ass. We'll be thinking we cool with them. Next thing you know, it's a nuclear bomb pointed at our goddamn head. See, that's why we gotta move. We gotta move right, y'all.
What I will tell you is what President Trump has already laid out, which is that the achievable objectives of Operation Epic Fury, we expect to last about 4 to 6 weeks, and we are well on our way to achieving those objectives. Annihilating Iran's navy, we know that we've sunk more than 30 Iranian vessels and ships. Their navy has now been deemed combat ineffective. Taking out the ballistic missile threat that Iran posed to the United States and our troops and bases in the region, we have done a tremendous job. The United States military has done a tremendous job at achieving that objective thus far. Just 6 days in, the retaliatory ballistic missile strikes from Iran are now down 90%. What I will tell you is what President Trump has already laid out.
You've probably heard the news by now. The U.S. and Israel launched their massive, unprecedented kinetic operations. But did you hear about the retaliation? If you are watching this, the global economy has just been taken hostage without a single traditional military invasion. Hit that follow button right now because we are about to decode the absolute reality of what is happening inside the Strait of Hormuz. Let's look at the declassified intelligence. Immediately following the Allied strikes, the elite IRGC completely hijacked the VHF Marine radios. They broadcasted a chilling direct ultimatum. No commercial vessels are allowed to pass, and anyone who tries will be responsible for their own destruction. This triggered immediate massive panic. Ships already in the Persian Gulf desperately rushed to exit while they still could. At first, some international conglomerates didn't take the warning seriously, but then the kinetic impacts started. Before we look at the exact targets, you need to understand the military strategy here. There are two types of blockades, a hard blockade and a soft blockade. A hard blockade is like what happened in the Suez Canal. Literally.
We need more likes. I need 100 likes. Y'all are playing games. We are at war right now. I don't have the patience to keep playing with y'all during this time. You feel me? I need y'all to tap the goddamn screen. We are at war right now. Y'all want to play games and piddle pat? No, I need y'all to tap and like and stand
sinking
up
a
for your
massive
country,
ship
all
right
right?
in the middle. So absolutely.
It's time to stand up for your goddamn country, okay? Y'all pledge allegiance. Do y'all be pledge allegiance to the flag?
Nothing can pass.
If
but
y'all
that
be
hurts
pledge allegiance to the flag, it's time to stand up for your goddamn country because we are at war.
everyone. Instead, the other side is executing a highly calculated soft blockade. They are letting Iranian and Chinese ships pass through freely while selectively targeting everyone else who ignores the warning. And over the last few days, 5 massive commercial vessels found out exactly how real this warning is. Target 1, the Skylight, attacked on March 1st, just 5 nautical miles south of Oman. 4 crew members were injured and had to be evacuated. Target 2 and 3, the Athenova was struck by 2 drones and instantly caught fire. The Hercules Star was hit northwest of Mina Sakhr. It caught fire, but miraculously managed to extinguish it and escape. Target 4, the Stena Impero. This is the most terrifying one. It was sitting in a dry dock in Bahrain. It wasn't even moving, and it was still struck. They are proving that nowhere is safe. Target 5, the MK Divium, hit near Muscat by a kamikaze drone boat, an unmanned vessel that drove directly into the target, resulting in 1 tragic fatality.
Yeah, they got some new shit called UAVs, like unmanned vehicles that they can put on the ground and shoot rockets from and shit. Like this war, they really want to fight a war like they really want robots to fight the war. If you ask me, they want to have a robot war. They send in drones and shit. You know what I'm saying? They trying to have aerial war. The era where it's ground troops and shit, where they just fight in combat, that's like a thing of the past. Everything is technology based now. You know what I'm saying? In the future, it ain't even gonna be people fighting. It's gonna be just robots. Who got the best robot army? You know what I'm saying? That's what we're leading towards. In the future, like 30 years from now, it ain't gonna, our military is just gonna be all robots, all drones and shit, all technology.
These 5 strikes, absolute unprecedented global paralysis. Insurance premiums for vessels entering the Gulf have violently skyrocketed by 500%, and major insurers have completely pulled their coverage. Because of this, 84% to 85% of all maritime traffic through the strait has completely halted. We are currently witnessing the largest maritime traffic jam in human history. Right now, 706 massive commercial ships are paralyzed.
Yeah, AI gotta be stopped.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Lindsay Davis. We begin tonight with the war. President Trump is now warning of hard strikes as the conflict in the Middle East spirals into its 2nd week. Tonight, the gravity of the war is impossible to ignore. At Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, transfer of the remains of 6 American service members killed during the first days of the war, while fire and smoke rise from an oil refinery in Tehran as Israel launches a new wave of attacks.
6 service members already perished. Actually, add 7 because today they announced another. Let's have a moment of silence for those 7 lost service members. The war just started and we're already losing people. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. And what did Trump say? Prepare to lose more people. It's going to be more lives lost. These are people just like you and me. They don't deserve this stuff. They died fighting for our country. One of the highest honors they say you can have as an American. One of the highest honors upon death that you can have as an American, to be fighting for the country. That's what they say. What do y'all think? I know a couple people that was in the army. Hell, I wanted to go to the army actually. I wanted to go to the army and do something safe though. I ain't really want to be on the battlefield. You feel me? I wanted to go to the army and work in the office shit. Fuck. Work in the army office. Fuck that. I didn't even know that they had so many jobs in the army. That was my thing. Like, I thought when you signed up for the army, you just had to be on a battlefield. You know what I'm saying? But come to find out, there's thousands of jobs within the army. It's people that go to the army and be cooks and shit. I was like, what the hell?
B-1 bombers have now arrived in the UK as the U.S. promises a surge in attacks. Rockets continue to rain over Tel Aviv and the West Bank in Iran's latest barrage, a stark reminder of the escalating violence.
See them B-2, when we send them B-2 bombers out, that's when it's time to duck. They don't want them B-2 bombers over there because they do mass destruction, okay? And we the only army that has these B-2 bombers that's capable of imminent destruction. And that's what we're doing right now. We're over there dropping bombs left and right, destroying buildings, and we're not stopping until we achieve total obliteration and total air supremacy. And if Iran don't want to surrender, then get what? We dropping down more bombs over goddamn Baghdad. That's what it is.
And Trump says moments ago that there could be ground troops going into Iran, but they would have to be for a very good reason. We have full team coverage tonight as the war intensifies. Matt Rivers leads us off from Beirut, Lebanon.
Trump just said if they don't stop this stuff and they don't wave the white flag, then we're going to hit them hard. Trump said we're going to hit them hard, even harder than before, if they don't surrender. And he also said that he's going to have say in the next leader. And as y'all can see, that's not the case. Actually, let's look that up. Iran's new leader. Let's look up Iran's new leader, y'all.
This news breaking in just the past few hours. The new leader of Iran is Mojtaba Khamenei. He is the son of the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who died in his compound in Tehran following a US-Israeli strike earlier on in this war. Mojtaba himself said to have been injured in that strike. He was announced by the Assembly of Experts, a clerical body, the highest authority in Iran. But this could very well lead to further escalations in this war. He's likely to his father's hardline stance. We know the US President Donald Trump considered this outcome unacceptable. He will see this as the worst possible outcome. It comes as Iran has threatened to attack.
Y'all on here telling me that I'm stupid. How the hell am I stupid for showing y'all what the hell is going on in the news? Come on, good. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all just is spreading hate. All this goddamn hate. You know what? If you hate me, move to Iran then. Fuck that. You don't like this channel and you don't like me? Get your ass on, go to Iran, and let us drop a B-2 bomb on your ass. Fuck that.
Oil facilities right around the Gulf after multiple oil refineries were struck around Tehran yesterday, exploding into massive fireballs. Today, they've become a constant plume of thick, toxic black.
If you don't like me, move to Iran and let us drop a B-2 bomber on your ass. Fuck that.
Smoke now posing a health risk to its residents, an absolute disintegration of the Iranian president's promise not to retaliate on its innocent neighbours. Though there has been strikes on Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Dubai and Iraq, there are now desperate attempts from the likes of Russia and France to de-escalate these strikes on neighbouring countries. We know the military in Iran, the IRGC, has backed in the new leader. We now wait to see what the fallout is.
The Islamic Republic of Iran has a new supreme leader, Sayed Mojtaba Khamenei, who is the second eldest son of Iran's late supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who of course was killed in an airstrike here in Tehran a little over a week ago. Now, Mojtaba Khamenei is someone who is considered ideologically, politically, and religiously to be more of a hardliner than a moderate, but he certainly does have the respect of Iran's security forces, specifically of the powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is, of course, the elite wing of Iran's armed forces.
All right, so this is just the news today. Keep in mind, Trump and Netanyahu vowed to eliminate, keyword, eliminate, whoever they think they about to put in power. Okay? So what do y'all think? Y'all think his son is going to survive the B-2 bombers? Do you guys think that we're going to let this stuff happen? If we let him take power and we let them just keep going and we leave it alone, then that'll mean we lost the war. So right now we bit off a lot more than we can chew, but we gotta keep fucking chewing. Because if we stop chewing now, it could get dangerous. So now the goal is total obliteration. We can't leave nothing. Everything must go. Everything must go. That's what Trump gonna say at the next conference meeting. He gonna get up there and he gonna be like, I tried to negotiate. Now everything must go. You feel me?
Forces. Mojtaba Khamenei is 56 years old. He was born in Mashhad, which is the holiest city here in Iran, and he received his religious training in Qom, which is also one of the most holy cities here in this country. So he certainly has the religious credentials to take the reins of the Islamic Republic. Now, he takes those reins in a very difficult time, as of course the combat operations between Iran and Israel and the United States continue. We're seeing airstrikes here in the Iranian capital at a very high pace. But the Iranians are also saying that at this point in time, they don't want a ceasefire with the U.S., and they also want to avenge the killing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. So in that regard...
See that? They want to avenge the killing now. Now they're not stopping at all. They saw that Alamani or Kamani, they saw him as Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Alamani Kamani. And now they're avenging his death. Just like Jesus died on a cross for your sins, Kamani died for their sins. Now they about to, you feel me? That's how it is.
He is considered, Mojtaba Khamenei, to be potentially a very strong leader to continue the policies of his late father. The Islamic Republic of Iran has a new supreme leader, Sayed Mojtaba Khamenei.
Breaking right now, and I need you to stop everything you are doing, because what just happened in the last few hours is the single most explosive development of this entire 9-day war. Iran has chosen a new supreme leader. The 88-member Assembly of Experts, the clerical body that holds the constitutional power to pick who rules the Islamic Republic, has reached its decision. The man has been chosen. The votes have been cast, and yet his name has not been spoken out loud. Not on state television, not in an official announcement, not anywhere. Because the moment his name becomes public, Israel's defense minister has promised in an official statement to kill him.
not a threat buried in a classified briefing, a public post on social media, a warning to the entire world. Any leader selected by Iran will be a certain target for assassination, no matter his
See that? Any leader erected by Iran will be a certain target.
name, no matter where he hides. Iran chose its new supreme leader in secret inside a bunker while bombs were still falling on Tehran. And the man they chose is the dead man's son. His name is Mojtaba Khamenei. He is 56 years old. He has never held elected office. He is not a senior cleric by traditional standards. He has spent his entire life operating in the shadows of his father's absolute power. And the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guards who control Iran's missiles, its military, its economy, and now apparently its political succession, forced him into that chair with bombs exploding outside and clerics being pressured over the phone to cast their votes. This is the most extraordinary political moment in the Middle East since 1979. And this is day 9. Let me give you the full picture because the detail.
He better be hiding deep in the bunker, nigga. He better be hiding under the bunker, nigga. Cause them B-2 bombers, they gonna penetrate that bunker. So he better be up under the bunker. Fuck that. Cause this shit is serious. The son? Trump is probably like, what the fuck? Nigga, we can't let this shit happen. Send them motherfucking B-2 bombers through there. When Trump hear this stuff, guess what he gonna do? He gonna send more bombs over there. And then Trump gonna be like, I'm the new supreme leader of Iran. United States of Iran, Venezuela, nigga. That's the new thing. United States of Iran, Venezuela.
Of how this happened are unlike anything in modern political history. Start with the mechanics of the succession. The Assembly of Experts has reached a majority consensus on Iran's next supreme leader. Assembly member Ayatollah Mohammad Mahdi Mirbagheri confirmed the decision, though he noted that some obstacles still needed to be resolved before the official announcement could be made. A candidate was picked based on Khamenei's own advice that Iran's top leader should be hated by the enemy rather than praised by it. One senior cleric made a statement that cuts to the heart of what is happening here. He said of the chosen successor, even the great Satan has mentioned his name. Read that again. Iran looked at every candidate available to them. They looked at senior clerics with decades of religious authority. They looked at experienced political figures who have navigated the system for 30 years. And they chose the man that America had already publicly declared unacceptable. Trump said weeks ago that Mojtaba Khamenei was an unacceptable choice for him. Iran's response was to choose him anyway. That is not a concession. That is the most defiant political act possible from a government being bombed into rubble. Now, I want to explain who Mojtaba Khamenei actually is because most of America does not know this man, and they need to. Mojtaba Khamenei has long been considered one of the most breaking right now.
Iran has a new supreme leader. This is Mojtaba Khamenei, which is the son of the late supreme leader. This announcement was made by Iran State TV and comes 9 days after the United States and Israel started doing attacks inside of Iran. It had been rumored for quite some time that he would have been the successor, but the important thing here is that he's never held any elected office or formal government position at all. You're probably saying, how was he chosen? He was chosen by Iran's Assembly of Experts. It's an 88-body membership that votes in who they think should be the next leader. How will the United States respond to this? Because Donald Trump had said before that he wants influence over anyone who ultimately takes over this position, and even warned that any leader who takes over will, quote, is not going to last long without his approval. So why does that matter? Well, he now controls Iran's Revolutionary Guard, the one that is attacking Israel and the United States, at least their bases. And if Trump does not approve of him, it's possible that he might be the next target the United States will try to eliminate. Iran.
Now, we've just got some breaking news that's just come into us. Iran has named the new supreme leader. It will be Mujtaba Khamenei, the son of the slain supreme leader who was killed last Saturday in a Israeli-US strike on the capital, Tehran. He was killed in his compound, and his son has now been named as the new supreme leader by the Council of Clerics in charge of selecting the new supreme leader. This will be the Islamic Republic's third supreme leader since it came to power in 1979. 56-year-old Mujtaba Khamenei is known to be close to the Revolutionary Guard, who were apparently pushing for him to be the front runner. He is a mid-level cleric.
You are likely watching this video on or after the 10th of March. You should know, amidst the thunder of the airstrikes that continue to bombard Iran, fired by the US and Israel as they continue their war on the Persian fortress nation, amidst the chaos, a new man has been chosen to be supreme leader. The son of the former Iranian head of state has been chosen by the Assembly of Experts in Iran, and all branches of the state apparatus appear to be in agreement. They have rallied behind him in the defense of their collective homeland from the foreigners attacking it. Ayatollah Mujtaba.
Breaking news, Iran just appointed a new Ayatollah. Well, that was fast. My God, the U.S. and Israel aren't playing no games. After being droned 8 hours into his term as supreme leader, Ayatollah Arafi wins the shortest reign ever award in the Guinness Book of World Records. So what happened is, after the death of Ali Khamenei, to stop a total power vacuum, Iran invoked Article 111 from their constitution, appointing a three-man interim council. The man chosen to lead the religious branch, Ayatollah Arafi, was meant to be the face of stability. Well, before the ink on his appointment could even dry, reports flooded in that Arafi was targeted on the second wave of attacks, resulting in his demise literally within 8 to 12 hours of taking the role. To be fair,
we began with the breaking news that another American service member has died.
Yep. Another death.
Iran has elected a new supreme leader after the
Ceasefire and stop the war.
Calling the U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran an unnecessary war, China's top diplomat on Sunday reiterated Beijing's message to Washington on the sidelines of the country's biggest political event of the year.
The Chinese side would like to once again call for an immediate halt to military operations, preventing the situation from escalating in successive rounds and avoiding the spillover and spread of the flames of war.
I also asked the foreign minister a few questions.
Since Donald Trump's return to the White House, U.S.-China relations have been tumultuous, so his planned visit to Beijing later this month has been highly anticipated. Given this, how will the ongoing U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran affect this trip?
This year is indeed a big year for China-U.S. relations. The agenda for high-level exchanges with the U.S. is on the table. What is required is for both sides to make thorough preparations to create a conducive environment to manage existing differences and to remove unnecessary disruptions.
January 30th, the U.S. releases 3 million pages of Epstein documents. February 19th, Prince Andrew arrested. First royal arrested in 379 years. February 23rd, Peter Mandelson arrested. The British ambassador to America was passing secrets directly to Epstein. February 26th, Hillary Clinton testifies. February 27th, Bill Clinton becomes the first former president in history forced to testify before Congress. 4 of the most powerful people in the world exposed. Then what happens? Same week, the US strikes Iran. The Strait of Hormuz closes. Oil prices explode. Every headline in the world shifts to war. Nobody is talking about Epstein anymore. Nobody is talking about the Clintons. Nobody is talking about the royal family. You cannot make scandals disappear, but you can bury them under something bigger. 7 people exposed in 7 days. 1 war started the same week. Most people see separate news stories. Arabs see one coordinated operation. The elite do not panic when they get exposed. They redirect your attention, and it works every single time. Comment the...
It's not about their nukes.
No. Iran's central bank counts. One of the reasons it counts is because
the only 3 countries that will be safe in a World War III in 2026. Number 3, New Zealand. You might be shocked, but this is...
The world saw your battleship sunk in the Indian Ocean. Dozens of Iranian sailors died. Your response was, quote, "Mark my words, the U.S. will come to bitterly regret the precedent it has set." So what is Iran going to do? And at this point, given the state of your military right now, what can you do?
Well, first of all, that was a training Navy, training ship, which was invited by the Indian Navy to take part in an exercise, and they went there as their guests, the Indians guests, and they, did participate in that exercise, and they were in their way back home, and the ship was unarmed. So attacking an unarmed ship full of, training officers and sailors is, a war crime, I have to say.
What type of battleship, Minister, excuse me, but what type of military would allow a battleship into the ocean with no weapons on board?
Well, because it was, the goal was not, their aim was not going to war. They went for an exercise, which was arranged by the Indian Navy. There are so many other guests who went there and they, took part in a parade. And, everything was a peaceful, training course or a peaceful training process. So they didn't need, weapons.
The world saw your battleship sunk.
The bombs are broadcast to the world, but the people below aren't. With no journalists allowed in and just 1% internet connectivity, the voice of normal Iranians is also under siege. What? ITV News has spoken with 3 people inside, 3 sets of opinions about the war. Their identities hidden out of fear of reprisals from the remnants of the regime. Siavush is in his 30s and lives in the capital.
After the news of Khamenei's death, I woke up and hugged my father and we cried tears of joy together. These past few days, I'm experiencing the best days of my life. We want the operation to continue until the moment of the regime's downfall. But the regime's forces are everywhere. Checkpoints are everywhere. There are agents everywhere. The entire governing structure has been mobilized to save the Islamic Republic. I hope the United States finishes the job and Israel as well. I hope it happens as quickly as possible. We already have the best person to replace the regime, Prince Reza Pahlavi.
Babak is in his 30s and also lives in the capital.
There is no shelter that people can go to. By the time an attack happens, it's too late to do anything. The regime even closed the metro station, so no one could go inside them. Because of this, going outside is very dangerous. Since the war started, we haven't left the house at all. Between 30 up to 40% of people have left Tehran. We know war is bad, but there is no other choice, and we hope it will ultimately reach the outcome we want. If it doesn't happen, America, Europe, everyone will suffer. Its existence is dangerous for everyone.
Salman lives in southern Iran.
They started it first and they killed 117 innocent students in Iran. Why do 117 innocent students have to be killed? The only things I want is for this war to be over as soon as possible, so we don't get dragged to the front lines. People should live without stress like other countries. My request is that the countries of the world get along with Iran, that they are friends. I am stressed.
Ruled by an oppressive regime, bombed by foreign weapons, it is the people of Iran bearing the brunt from both sides.
Israel has officially launched a direct strike against Iran's capital, and the world is holding its breath. According to early reports, this was a preemptive strike targeting Iran's nuclear facilities, with blasts confirmed across multiple sites. The United States gave no support but did give warning. Meanwhile, American embassies across the Gulf are being evacuated. You got military families are being pulled from bases in Iraq and Bahrain. Iran is already threatening massive retaliation, warning it could respond proportionately, which could mean strikes on Israel's cities or United States allies. At the same time, Israel has gone on high alert with air defense systems activated and emergency security protocols nationwide. Why now? Well, because nuclear talks have collapsed. Iran has been burying and reinforcing its enrichment facilities, spreading them out and refusing to cooperate with Western inspectors. This isn't just another skirmish, folks. This is the most dangerous escalation we've seen in years. If Iran fires back, we could be looking at a regional war, a spike in oil prices, cyber attacks, or even worse, something else. Hell, I don't know. And where's the media at on this? Too busy pretending that this isn't happening. Stay informed, because this story is moving fast. And
Trump just moved the world's most dangerous chess piece, and we have officially crossed the point of no return. Look at the map. The USS Gerald R. Ford, a 100,000-ton nuclear-powered fortress, just dropped anchor at Suda Bay in Crete.
That Gerald R. Ford, once that entered the battle, that's when you know it's real shit going on. That's a billion-dollar vessel right there that they.
Pentagon is calling this a logistic.
Pay attention and listen.
In the nuclear age, no one will be a survivor if nuclear war breaks out. It is time to stop this mad war immediately. Up to today, I think the United States and Israel have already been failures in this war. Why? While you see them very assertive in bombing out sites inside Iran, Iran has proven to be very lethal in terms of penetrating into all kinds of air defense systems in Israel, as well as in the United States. I think the United States and Israel have fully exposed themselves for the whole world to see that whatever they have for self-defense is not invisible, is not impenetrable. They are basically very, very vulnerable, not to the highest level of most advanced weapon system available in the world. But even for a country like Iran, which has been suffering isolation for almost 50 years, and they have developed enough weapons to penetrate through the core assets of Iran, of Israel on the one hand, and the United States on the other hand. I think, as far as the US military is concerned, they suffered the most devastating defeats in the world ever since the end of the Vietnam War. So I think the United States should really start to ponder whether they should always use war as their first choice. In the nuclear age,
tonight, conflict is spiraling and spreading to Iraq, Lebanon, and as Gulf countries threaten to join this growing war. Iran targeting major cities in the Middle East with hundreds of missiles and drones, including this one in Bahrain. First the buzz, then the blast. Dubai's iconic hotels hit, many Iranian munitions still being shot down today. Here a burst of smoke beside...
Yeah, see that? Iconic hotels are being hit in Dubai. So that's what I was saying, like Dubai is no longer like one of those luxurious places that we known it to be. You know what I'm saying? Ever since, this is going to change how their country is. Wow.
The world's tallest building and the moment of impact at another hotel.
I just heard this really loud bang.
Alex Bouquet, who runs an American firm, fled to an Airbnb in the desert.
We grabbed our passports as well, and we just started driving off.
This was Dubai Airport over the weekend and nearby Abu Dhabi. Thankfully, passengers have been evacuated. Thousands of flights cancelled in a region that is a critical hub for the world's commercial airlines. Sarah Meti from Tennessee is in Dubai for her 20th wedding anniversary. She found herself filming munitions exploding outside their hotel. What are you thinking when you're filming this?
That I've got to be in a dream. This can't be real. I never in a million years thought this would happen.
They've been urged to stay inside.
I just want to get home to the kids. I miss them terribly.
Iran's objective in all this, to pressure its neighbors, to tell Washington, cool off the war. Tonight, conflict is spiraling and Israel will be striked.
You just mentioned there that you have always tried to maintain diplomatic relations with Iran. Certainly Qatar has, and they've tried in many ways to maintain those relationships despite Iran facing global isolation. Do you feel betrayed?
Well, of course, it is a big sense of betrayal. This is the second time. That's why it's also like for us, it's been something really significant to see the attack, which was showing that being pre-planned. Like once the war started, just maybe an hour after the start of the war, Qatar and the other Gulf countries being attacked right away. And all of us before this war and repeatedly we've been saying and repeating that we are not going to take part of any attacks or any wars against our neighbors. We would like to see a peaceful neighborhood. We were helping Iran and the United States in reaching diplomatic solutions. But this miscalculation by the Iranians to attack the Gulf countries has destroyed everything, actually. We would be like the glimpse of hope to bring some diplomatic solutions to the current conflict, and to be, to be attacked by one of the parties of that conflict. We will prioritize, of course, defending our country and making sure that our people's lives, goes normally, and they, as much as possible, they don't feel these threats coming to our countries.
You're one of the few global leaders who's talking to both sides, the Americans and the Iranians. What is your message to both sides?
Well, actually, first of all, our message to the Iranian, they have to stop the attacks right away. It should stop instantly. What happened is really a huge shakeup for the trust in the relationship that we have with Iran. We will continue talking to the Iranians. We will continue trying to seek de-escalation. At the end of the day, they are our neighbors. It's a destiny. My message to them is you shouldn't include or involve any of the other countries in this war, in order also to be able to be helped in de-escalating the situation. If these attacks are ongoing, there will be no one able to help them or to even to start voicing some reason, because everyone is busy engaging in defending their countries. For the US, we would like to see a de-escalation. We would like to see an end for this conflict, a diplomatic solution that addresses our concerns as well as their concerns.
Much has been made about the UK and Europe's response or the lack of. What's your take on how they have reacted to this conflict?
Well, honestly, from our perspective, all our European partners has been, providing us with significant support, whether it's politically, whether it's in any of the supply chain issues that we have. United Kingdom has provided an outstanding support for Qatar. We have the joint squadron working together with our pilots, and we are very grateful for this partnership and for this alliance. I don't know why they say that Europe doesn't do anything, maybe on the general level, but on the level of bilateral relationship with us and with other GCC partners, we have seen them demonstrating a great friendship.
You just mentioned there that you have always tried to maintain diplomatic relations with Iran. Certainly Qatar has, and they've tried in many ways to maintain those relationships despite Iran facing global isolation. Do you feel betrayed?
Well, of course, it is a big sense of betrayal.
When this shit happens and this motherfucker comes out and say this, yeah, then you start paying attention.
Kidding. You don't have to hook into the grid, which is old and, could be taken out. If it's taken out, they wouldn't have any electricity.
Now, that was only 3 days ago. They've been telling us to get ready for the grid to go down. Now, what are you and your family gonna do when you wake up with no power? Can't turn on the TV. You have no radio. You don't even know what's going on in the outside world. What are you gonna do when you wake up and your phone doesn't work? What are you gonna do when you can't get a call? You can't text. You can't contact your family. Now, the only way to get power from that point is from the sun. That is exactly why every single person in my family has one of these. This right here is the strongest solar power bank on the market right now. And as long as the sun is shining, you have infinite energy. It has 3 built-in cores to charge any device.
If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. If you
Donald Trump decided to bomb.
The president said recently there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender.
So the tolerance for the killing of children seems to be expanding. I've seen far too many dead girls and boys these past few years, so it's taken me a moment. Another war. I'm not numb, I'm stunned, I'm angry. 168 girls reportedly killed in a school in Iran. 168. I think something fundamental has shifted.
You are in Ukraine. I'm grateful for this. Will we lose? Of course not, because we are fighting for Ukraine's independence.
So if you can win this war, and I know you've said that, what does victory look like?
Today we speak about stopping this war. I believe that stopping Putin today and preventing him from occupying Ukraine is a victory for the whole world, because Putin will not stop at Ukraine.
You're not saying that victory means getting all the land back, are you?
In any case, we will achieve that. That is absolutely clear. It's only a matter of time. To do it today would mean losing a huge number of people, millions of people, because the Russian army is large, and we understand the cost of such steps. We would not have enough people. We would be losing them. And what is land without people? Honestly, nothing. And we also do not have a sufficient amount of weapons. That depends not only on us, but on our partners. As of today, this is not available. But returning to the just borders of 1991 is without a doubt a victory for justice. You are in Ukraine. I'm grateful for this. Will we lose? Of course not, because we are fighting for Ukraine's independence.
So if you can win this war, and I know you've said that, what does victory look like?
Today we speak about stopping this war. I believe that stopping Putin today and preventing him from occupying Ukraine is a victory for the whole world, because Putin will not stop at Ukraine.
You're not saying that victory means getting all the land back, are you?
Get off the sticks. Get off the sticks. All right, let's go. Time to go. Okay. Guys, come on. Everyone move. Everyone move now. Stay with us. Stay with us. Pick up the gear. Let's go.
Trey, I mean, it's unbelievable to see what we're seeing going on in the skies above Tel Aviv right now.
Yeah, okay, so right now what we are seeing, Sandra, is Israel's missile defense systems, likely along with American systems, working to intercept incoming ballistic missile fire. This is the attack that the Israeli army warned about. We spoke with officials before we started this live report, and they said they actually had to cut short a statement by Israel's top spokesman because they got some information that this attack was about to be underway. These sirens that you hear off in the distance, again, are used to warn the population to get into shelters. And we're just going to wait and see what information we can gather about this. And we have a statement right now, Sandra, from the IDF, and I'm just going to read it to you in real time. A short while ago, sirens sounded. Get off the sticks. Get off the sticks. All right, let's go. Time to.
This military ship you are looking at behind me is basically a city on water. It's known as the USS Abraham Lincoln, and it has a crew size of over 5,000 people. There's approximately 3,200 ship crew members and 2,400 personnel in the carrier air wing. And no, the ship isn't powered by gas. It's powered by 2 A4W nuclear reactors, meaning it only needs to be refueled once every 25 years. So the ship has 25 years of power. It's also got its own airport and hospital, so everybody on the ship is taken care of and people can fly onto it and leave it whenever needed. The length of the ship is approximately 1,092 feet long, which is longer than 3 football fields placed end to end. It also weighs over 100,000 tons when fully loaded and stocked up. It's been said that the crew on the ship eats over 15,000 meals a day. The ship serves as a backbone to the United States Navy because of all the resources it contains on the water and its ability to constantly be moving. It's also got 60 to 70 aircrafts, including helicopters, fighter jets, warning planes. Let me know what you think about this massive ship, or should I say city on the ocean, in the comments below.
All right, so today it appears we are living in backwards world where Russia is urging the United States to show restraint and to not pick on smaller nations because they could risk us going to World War III and having global conflict with the U.S. versus NATO. And he's saying this is all over Greenland, Russia, that is. And they're saying that the United States should not pick on smaller nations. So today, January 17, 2026, we are living in backwards world. Take a look at the latest headlines so you can see it for yourself. Russia warns Donald Trump that he will trigger the end of the world if he snatches Greenland. Now, this happens as tensions rise between Russia and the West. One Russian official has warned that all-out war could break out if Trump plans to take over Greenland, and he actually goes through with it. He is saying that we're going to be sparking World War III here. Take a look. Now, Donald Trump will cause World War III as the world warns that it'll be the end as we know it, with tensions rising. This actually coming out from Donald Tusk, the Prime Minister of Poland. So we have various nations now warning about what is happening as we're seeing things escalate with Greenland. And take a look, breaking news coming out today, actually just a little while ago, NATO members are going to be facing tariffs increasing to 25% until Greenland purchase deal is struck. Trump is saying, I'm going to strike you all with tariffs until I get Greenland. We're going to make a deal, whether you like it or not. And that is why we're actually hearing Russia coming to the table saying, hey, Trump, calm it down. You're going to cause global conflict. Now, while all this is taking place, take a look at this. Zelensky is coming out and saying, hey, Donald Trump, you know how you took down Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela? You think you can do that to Putin? Zelensky is calling for the United States to take down Putin following the capture of the Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. And today is January the 17th, 2026. And like I said, it's like we woke up in backwards world today, where we are hearing that there are warnings urging the United States to calm down as Donald Trump is saying we need to take Greenland. Now, here's the thing. Let me know your thoughts. He is saying that Russia has an invested interest in Greenland along with China. And that is the reason why they are using this rhetoric saying that the United States is going to cause World War III conflict with NATO, because Trump is saying if we do not take it, he is saying, listen, if the United States does not take full control of Greenland and the Arctic, we are in a bad strategic position, and Russia and China are going to take over it, and they are going to gain the advantage to eventually compromise the United States. So he is saying that this is putting America first, that we need this for security purposes. He is saying it is essential that we do this, and we do it now. And he is saying that he is willing to do it for the safety and security of the United States. Now, if you agree with him and you appreciate what Trump is doing, put USA. If you think that we need to acquire Greenland, you agree with Donald Trump, and he is saying by all means necessary, we need to gain control of it. Now, if you think no, it's not necessary, he needs to calm down, put NATO in the comments, as we're hearing a lot of NATO nations.
Today, Iran's President Pezeshkian claimed that some countries have begun mediations to end a war that he says Iran did not start. But in a response, in a social media post, President Trump offering his latest evolution on an endgame on this war, saying he would only agree to a deal after Iran's unconditional surrender. Explosions and flames rocked Tehran today as Israeli fighter jets targeted the Iranian regime's primary wartime bunker. 100 munitions dropped in a fiery instant. Smoke blanketed Iran's capital. Fierce blasts could be seen near the airport. And another attack turned the iconic Azadi sports complex into a smoldering husk. 7 days in, U.S. military says it has struck over 3,000 targets and damaged or destroyed 43 Iranian ships, sinking this drone carrier, bombing planes on the ground, and jet hangars. This past week, a strike destroyed an Iranian elementary school. Dozens of girls were killed, and a person familiar with the ongoing inquiry told CBS that investigators believe the U.S. may have been responsible, and were told by sources that the Israeli military was not operating there at the time.
time. And tonight, as the war expands geographically, CBS has learned that Russia, a major U.S. adversary, is helping Iran identify U.S. targets in the region, including U.S. troop locations.
It clearly is not making a difference with respect to the military operations in Iran, because we are completely decimating them.
That is, overnight, one of 2 missile strikes aimed at a major U.S. airbase in Kuwait was successfully intercepted. Though Israel says it has destroyed up to 80% of Iran's missile capacity, missiles continued to blaze toward Tel Aviv overnight, but noticeably fewer.
The sirens just sounded here. You can see this woman and her daughter running to a shelter. Streets are empty here, but this is only the second sirens in the past 20 hours.
Decreasing drone and missile attacks from Iran have enabled charter flights carrying Americans to trickle back to the U.S. Some Democrats have blasted the administration for its chaotic handling of Americans stuck in the conflict zone.
It's clear that this administration has just been making this up as they go along.
The president is also facing criticism in the Persian Gulf. A Dubai billionaire asking the president on X, "Did you calculate the collateral damage before pulling the trigger?"
And today, Qatar's energy minister has warned that continued war could, quote, bring down the economies of the world, end quote, predicting that all Gulf energy exporters would shut down production within weeks and drive oil to $150,000 or $150 a barrel. It is already at its highest level in more than 18 months. Today, Iran's President Pezeshkian claimed that some countries have begun mediations to end a war that he says Iran did not start. But in a response, in a social media post, President Trump offering his latest evolution on an endgame on this war, saying he would only agree to a deal after Iran's unconditional surrender.
Explosions and flames rocked Tehran today as Israeli fighter jets targeted the Iranian regime's primary wartime bunker. 100 munitions dropped in a fiery instant. Smoke blanketed Iran's capital. Fierce blasts could be seen near.
The world stands at the edge of World War III.
We're on the ground in the region on day 8 of the Iran war. Here are the key things happening across the Middle East today. In Iran, the United States says it's carried out the biggest bombing campaign of the war so far overnight. As the conflict enters its second week, President Donald Trump insists there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. In response, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian says that the US demand is a dream that they should take to their grave. 3 American bombers that can carry 24 cruise missiles known as the Bone have landed at Fairford Air Base in the UK.
All right, y'all. So that pretty much concludes our show for tonight. Let me know what you guys think about this war in the comment section. I'm about to go ahead and play my exit song as I get on up out of here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you do not miss another goddamn episode. Go check out my other videos in the video section. I know you're on the live videos right now, but go check out my uploads and the shorts. Let's get it.
I'm looking out the window while the Ohio River flows, tracing back the footprints through the highs and through the lows. Zach Zeppelin on the track, yeah, I'm speaking from the soul, recording every memory just to keep my spirit whole. From the concrete of the film where the stories all began, to the Queen City skyline where I'm standing as a man. Every upload is a piece of what I've seen and what I've known, building up a digital kingdom on a foundation of my own. I've been traveling through time every time I hit the record, documenting life because I know I can't afford to let the moment slip away like shadows in the night. So I'm shining on the screen, keeping legacy in sight. Surviving Filmo Africa, the channel is the truth. Preserving every chapter from my wisdom to my youth. Cincy is the backdrop where the memories reside. Zach Zeppelin, the pilot, come and take a rhythm ride. On all platforms, you can hear the heartbeat in the sound. From the earth to the ether, see how I'm finally bound. I remember cold winters on the streets of the 513. Thinking about the journey and what life was meant to be. It's more than just a vlog, it's a living, breathing map. Bridging gaps between the past, falling right into my lap. I talk about the struggles and I talk about the grace. Putting film on the burner, putting light up on my face. My music is a heartbeat and the videos are eyes. Watching seasons changing under Cincinnati skies. If you're looking for the real, then you know just where to go. Subscribe to the vibration, watch the inner garden grow. I'm a son of the soil and a student of the game. Zach Zeppelin's the brand, but the heart remains the same. Surviving Filmo Africa, the channel is the truth. Preserving every chapter from my wisdom to my youth. Since he is a backdrop where the memories reside. Zach Zeppelin, the pilot, come and take a ribbon ride. On all platforms, you can hear the heartbeat in the sound. From the earth to the ether, see how I'm finally bound. Earthbound for a moment, but I'm reaching for the stars. Healing up the trauma and I'm wearing all my scars. From Cincinnati corners to the global wide view. This is for the people who are pushing through it too. Keep the camera rolling and the microphone on loud. Making my ancestors and my city feeling proud. Surviving Filmo Africa. Yeah, we still alive. Zach Zeppelin 513. Watch your dream thrive. Keep it locked, keep it real. Until the end of time. This is my life, this is my story, this is my rhyme.
All right, y'all, stay tuned for part 2. Be afraid.